This goddamn rabbit hole. It's not even a rabbit hole. Yo, you'll see.
It's a wormhole.
I mean,
It's a black hole. Oh man. Oh man, Shevitz. So this is the news part of the news topic, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Got you.
I'm already aware that some of my stuff I'm not gonna get to because
well, you're probably gonna get some more of it. But then you know it's three of us. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I found so like matter of fact, start the do the thingy.
Do the thing I do?
The thingy wingy.
Me. And I can do
I
that.
didn't mean that part.
It's 10:52.
I mean, sure.
I can get that in.
Okay. What up, Loss?
What up, Loss? Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
You
and my sis Chrissy.
Hey.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a few geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, before we get started.
We would be remiss.
Yeah. The show has to officially acknowledge the death of one of our community members.
Yeah.
Austin Anderson. Some of you may have known him as Secular King. Others of you may have known him here as Mr. Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great guy. And unfortunately, I think it's past Sunday, he took his life.
At least that's when that's when it was reported.
Yeah, that's when it was reported.
Yeah.
Sunday, I believe let me check to be 100% accurate, just in case people want to go to the tribute.
Morning, Betty.
Morning, Betty. Yeah, it caught me off guard, bro.
Yeah.
Ray hit me up, and then right after Ray hit me up, that's when I saw your message.
Right. Did I wake up to it? Yeah, I think effectively. I think I woke up to the message from Vermin.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll find it. Because I posted it in the Reaper Legion thing, just in case none of them saw.
I found it because it's in my.
I found Vermin's.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
This is Vermin. Says I'm sitting here at a serious loss of words. I can't even begin to properly relay the sadness in my heart. I chose the mental health channel to tell you this so that perhaps anyone who feels alone or without recourses will know that we have a place for you to reach out and that you are not alone. We love you, so please talk. It's with great sorrow and grief that I must bring you, the community, the news that in the early hours of this last Sunday, November 18th, Austin Anderson, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson, and previously known as Secular King, took his own life. He was a beloved member of GU and the UF, and I considered him one of my best friends here. He was my brother. In the honor of his memory, the United Federation will hold a special formation on Sunday, the 26th, at 4:20 Arizona time on the stage channel in the GU Discord for all to attend. So we just wanted to give our condolences on the show.
Yeah, officially acknowledged. Unfortunate turn.
Very unfortunate. I will be there. So anybody else that is looking to go there to be a part of the tribute, that's the information right there.
All right.
Yeah, he was lost. Yeah, I'm going to miss him. Just not being here on the show. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So when I started making the notes for this show, this episode, I had a particular thing in mind, and what I was going to say was next Sunday, Grace says, not
next
tomorrow.
Sunday. My bad. Next Sunday.
When I was like, oh, there's a there's something that I didn't like, something we talked about last week that I don't feel I clearly got across. So it was just a touch up. It was just like a little fill in from something that I missed last week. And then I looked at it and there was more. And like when like there's a crack. What up, cuz? Like when there's a crack in the window, and then you like, it's just a small crack. And then
it's never just a small crack.
It's
never just a small crack.
It slowly but surely starts to splinter and get bigger and bigger. And
Apple phone users, you know what we're talking about, like that crack.
You know what?
Nah, listen, it's true. Listen,
I've never had.
That's personally.
But let me say, when I had Android, my phone's always cracked.
You had Android 25 years ago.
Since I've had Apple,
I've had this one crack in my phone since like the month that I got it. It has not changed in size. It has not changed in shape.
I just want to know how it happens.
Zero.
How it happens to be, because they get that glass from the Android.
No, they use the technology for the screen. The glass itself is not I don't think it's what's the word? It's not as regulated.
It's not as regulated.
Didn't they change it?
Probably recently, yeah.
Because I don't know what glass they had before I had iPhone. I never had no issue. And I drop my phone all the time.
Everybody knew that had one.
Right. Like it's you happening to not have your phone cracked doesn't mean it wasn't still a problem once you started getting iPhones.
You've been extra.
That's not how that works. But anyway, so you see, just like very similar to the conversation we just had. It was one of those type things. It was a very small thing, and then it just let me do. That's funny, Gray.
Yes,
actually, no. There's a current version of Razr phone out now.
Make Razr great again.
That's stupid. All right, so I'm gonna go over dumbasses of the week.
What up, Bowflex?
Because
it's relevant.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get to. Gotcha. I can't go. Like, we don't have time for me to dig into them because of the topic.
Right.
So I'm just going like understand how dumb these things are, and then imagine. Okay. So the first one. It's just something, and I made a comment about this, but the original, I think all of this is from Twitter. The original, someone named Ann Yonan, ANNYONAN.
YONAN. Okay.
Correct. Posted. Did you know it was the Jews who started the civil rights movement in America? They saw the Black community struggling in their cause, murdered, silenced for speaking up against Jim Crow and the inhumane treatment of the Black community. It's the Jews who will turn the tide now. All right, so before I explain, because for a lot of people, I don't have to explain the issues with that. But before I get into it, I want to point out what Tim pointed out 2 or so weeks ago. We have not and will not cover that situation on the show. It's not going to happen. But actually, let me. I'm not even going to explain because that's going to make it too long. We're going to rush through these. So someone commented and responded to it. Did you hear that? All of Black America? You didn't start the civil rights movement for Black Americans. The Jews did. This might be one of the most offensive takes I've ever seen. My God, you still have time to delete this. OP responds, you can twist my words, but you know exactly what
that's what you said. How's it twisted?
How is that a twist?
You can twist my words, but you know exactly what I meant. Yes, it was the Jews who joined the Black community and marched and made it known that the civil rights and equality is for all. Then other whites joined and it became a visible, durable movement and eventual win for all.
What you said.
Somebody else responded to her. The first person, credit to Becky with the, I can't really tell how good her hair is. But credit to her because she was just a sensible person with no real skin in the conversation.
Yeah.
Now a black woman comes and says, Ed, you are not entitled to any group's voice but your own. In the same way you feel Jews were there during the Civil Rights Movement, Black American soldiers were there rescuing Jews during the Holocaust. We're all in this together. Check yourself. I love the check yourself. Ann says, and what part of what I said was disrespectful?
You said you
said black. wait. By not adding that black soldiers fought for the Jews made it disrespectful. I was only referring to the current Israeli-Palestine context, nothing else. That the Jews fought for civil rights and will do so in this conflict. Someone says, a black guy. How about you tell a part of how the part that other people play in the transatlantic slave trade? Let's talk about how 75% that lived in the U.S. at the time owned slaves. Let's talk about how you have blocked our way when it comes to old reparations. We don't owe you shit. She responds, I'm not Jewish. I quote tweet her and said, maybe you should have sent this one out.
Yeah, this is not
You're not Jewish. You're not black. This wasn't a comment that was necessary. Okay, sorry, we got to speed through. The next one, Michael Rappaport.
Excuse me, you mispronounced his last name.
Hey,
it's Rabbit.
I mean, Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport said, I'm not quoting, but this is what he said.
The general gist, right?
Yes. He said, imagine there were 20 people and they went somewhere and 10 of them were killed. The other 10 of them were held hostage and they were Black Americans. He said, everybody would be in an uproar and fighting to get them back. He said, everybody. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next one. The last one is
what up, Stella? Shot. What up, Random?
All right, the last one. It's been a particularly dumb week. I ain't gonna hold you. So the last one, for those who don't know, Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert have separated or divorced. I don't know exactly what it is because I don't care enough to be inside the deep tea of the situation.
Other people need to feel like that too.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. Somebody because when she initially filed for divorce, however many times she did, she used initials so that nobody would know who they were talking about. But apparently, when he filed whatever he filed in the latest instance, he used the whole names.
I'm saying everything.
So because of that, all of it became public because you can easily connect the dots. So this random post says, the interesting thing about Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's split is that he made more money than her by a lot, but he was envious of her fame. So for context, one of the complaints that she had was that he was kind of like controlling and like jealous, and like when they were out places, like people would ask him to get out of the shot so they could take a picture of her and blah blah blah. He had issues with that, blah blah. Okay, so this guy says she's lying, and then he says, unless you are in NYC in the Black music and theater scene, no one knows who Tiana Taylor is. Let's go over something real quick.
Hey, let me ask you a question before you do that. Are y'all in NYC in the Black?
No. So the official music video for Kanye West's song "Fade" broke the internet. Kanye's not even in the video. It's Tiana. The whole video is Tiana. That video is sitting at 181 million views.
Nobody knows who she is.
Nobody knows who she is. She has 5 certified gold singles, 1 certified platinum.
Nobody knows who she is.
She's been on TV since 2007. Super Sweet 16. That's the first time America saw her.
Excuse you. He said nobody knows who's.
Also, shit. There was one more thing. There was one more thing that I didn't write down.
Shit about that.
Nah,
You
whatever.
stupid.
Lastly, the reason she was even a fucking topic is because a divorce filing of hers came out.
Right.
What? What? Anyway, so none of those, all as dumb as each of the three of those scenarios were. Let's get into this topic. Diddy,
Oh God.
the quickness and the fallout of the settlement. So I just want to clearly point out, because again, this is my original point. I just want to clearly point out a couple of things that I don't think I made clear enough last week. This lawsuit was settled in less than 1 day.
Yeah. I don't think
that is extremely unprecedented.
Right. So to be clear, for those of you that are looking to obfuscate, I said, people settle all the time. This is no big deal. Less than a day.
Less than a day.
And
less than a day.
Way extra context to this.
Right. Okay. Even putting that aside, right? Settlements themselves aren't inherently suspicious, but I've heard now about 5 to 6 separate lawyers say that they have never seen one happen this quickly, and they would have advised an innocent billionaire client to fight this in court, as it would have been a drop in the bucket for them financially.
What I say last
he
week.
chose, but he chose to settle at flash levels of quickness.
Right.
One lawyer explained that a potential reason to do this was to keep more details and allegations around this and a potential uncovering of other things from reaching the public. Strictly, technically speaking, that's at least smart on his behalf and probably worked to not affect his business negatively.
And that's what he was really trying to stop from happening. You know what I'm saying?
Except Diego cites Diddy rape claims in renewed push to keep him out of tequila ads. Sean Diddy Combs, who settled rape and abuse allegations with singer Cassie last week, faces growing scrutiny in the midst of his push to refresh and expand the business portfolio he spent decades cultivating. In a letter filed with a New York court Friday before the settlement, the London-based spirit maker Diego cited the accusations to bolster its months-long effort, because they've been embroiled in heated legal back and forth for, I think, since August. In his month-long effort to prevent Combs from serving as the face of De Leon Tequila, which he has run in a joint venture with it for a decade. The letter came after a series of lawsuits Combs filed against Diego, whose other brands include Johnny Walker, Don Julio, and Smirnoff. In May, he accused the company of pigeonholing De Leon and Ciroc, the vodka he fronted for 15 years, as black brands for urban consumers, allegedly violating an equal treatment provision in their contract. In a subsequent October complaint, Combs said Diego had blackballed him from the spirit industry over his racial discrimination claims, which have been put on ice until next spring. He alleged in last month's retaliation suit that the company was sending him the message, "Speak up and you will be punished." Diego ended the Ciroc partnership over the summer, saying at the time that Combs had breached his contract, but the parties are still feuding over the use of up to $15 million in advertising and promotional budgeting, some of it for De Leon's marketing for next year. In recent months, Diego has argued in court documents that Combs' accusations of racism, which he denies, have already made him an ineffective spokesperson. That's kind of true. If you even if the motherfucker was racist, the fact that you are under them and calling them racist kind of makes you ineffective as someone selling their brand.
You can't sell their brand now.
No.
It doesn't. What?
Okay. The new public and disturbing accusations against him risk devastating and permanent damage to the tequila brand, the company said Friday, adding that one influencer had already asked to cut ties with De Leon on moral grounds. In its court letter, Diego pointed to a statement by Combs' lawyer to the New York Times, indicating he was aware that Cassie wanted to expose details of their relationship for at least 6 months before they emerged publicly. That period, the company said, happens to correspond with the pendency of Combs Wine's original lawsuit against Diego. Diego declined to comment beyond the statements in the court documents. And normally when I read an article, we talk about it, but I have to keep this it's pertinent to what I'm talking about. Right. So there was a part in this article. Actually, I think is it the same article? Continue. Get out my face. God damn it. Ad block. Refresh. All right, cool. You out of here now. All right. So I'm so glad I took a screenshot because it's acting up. All right. So there was a part of this article that started talking about other fallout from the situation. And one of them was very interesting to me. It is a tweet from Dawn Montgomery. It says,
never heard of
it. It's a woman.
Oh.
So yes, no, you have never heard of him. Correct. For your information, I won't be signing on to do the third season of Revolt TV's Monuments to Me podcast. I am a sexual assault survivor, and I cannot be a part of a show that's supposed to uplift Black women while Diddy leads the company. Believe Black women. Also, she told NBC News that she empathized with Cassie's allegations. She said, quote, I cannot sign back on and say that I want to be paid to do a podcast where a few of the episodes were probably going to reflect this conversation. Diddy and his people could never do anything towards me to make me feel like I needed to continue to be quiet. Revolt did not respond to a request for comment. Speaking of Revolt, when you go to the main page of revolt.tv, which is their website, the tagline is, quote, Revolt, unapologetically hip-hop, news, and entertainment. This quote is followed by an explanation of the tagline. The explanation says, quote, Revolt.tv is a space for the unapologetic, authoritative voice of hip-hop culture, which includes rap and R&B music and social justice news. Now, so I decided to fact check that claim because it's right front and center. So I'm like, all right, clearly you are going to be a fair and impartial source.
Of course.
Like, come on now. So I decided to fact check that claim. Apparently Google knows me very well because scrolling down just a tad more, I didn't even have to type nothing else, just scrolling down a tad more.
Just a tad.
There was a link to what is effectively the search on Revolt's website for stories about Diddy. I don't want to spoil anything, but keep in mind that I am writing this part of the notes after I've found every single story that I have left to talk about, except for the ones that came from Revolt's website. All right. So when I clicked that link, I found an article with the headline, Diddy's attorney issues statement about Cassie lawsuit settlement.
Does he?
Before I clicked on that article, I noticed that it was the only article on that page. But it did have page numbers. And I'm thinking, oh, that's an interesting way to present articles that paint a co-founder in a negative light. You really going to have one article per page? Like,
yes.
Well, no. The answer was no. Every page I clicked on loaded without any article. So there were no other articles. They were just blank. So I looked at the one article and it was super bare bones with the sub headline being, quote, just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing.
It is if you do it in a day.
Well, okay. let's. I looked at who wrote this particular article, and it's a Black woman named Aisha Thorpe. So I did a search for whatever article she does, like as what we used to do for anybody that's new around here. Whenever we saw certain articles and we noticed some type of slant, whether it be a slant that we agreed with or
disagree with, yep.
I would often click on the writer's name to see what other types of things they've written. So here's
my old imam used to say, if you don't know the author, you might not know what you're reading.
Hey, I mean, so here's the last article that she wrote about Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs sets precedent in music. Bad boy artists reassigned publishing rights. Music and entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs is continuing to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk In a historic move that will likely ignite astronomical change in the music industry, the founder of Bad Boy Records has decided to reassign the label's publishing rights to the artists and songwriters who helped make the company the powerhouse it is today. Clearly, I don't have to read the rest of this article. All right, so let me see.
Somebody over there, glizzy guy.
Listen, so what I decided to do, what I had decided to do is, you in this situation, you have the company Revolt, and you have two black women who
are revolting against Revolt.
Well, no, one who was actually revolting. Right. The other one, I can't say that's what she was doing. So I just want to show you the extreme differences between these two and their their not the articles, the Twitter feeds.
Oh, damn.
Because I was like, this is interesting. Oh, I gotta pull this one up.
They might as well be articles. You know that motherfucker made it so that you can actually make money off of your tweets.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I specifically went to Twitter was because I know a lot of journalists like do Twitter. Like,
no, yeah, it's so one of the things that made the platform important. That's why people stayed there. Like, they went for the threads for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing going on over there, so they went back there because you get distilled news right there on the timeline.
Mm-hmm. So, just to paint, even if I'm pretty sure y'all get it now, but just to hammer the point home, this is a list of tweets from Aisha Thorpe about Diddy, and this is, I'm filtering it by the latest tweets. Mm-hmm. The latest one was from September 27th. It says, at our Revolt World this past weekend, the only interview that Diddy did was with the Revolt site. Y'all hoes can't tell me shit. The next one, Chairman Diddy exclusively spoke to the Revolt site at our first ever Revolt World in Atlanta, GA. Get into it with fire emojis. The next one, when you're chilling in Diddy's lounge at Revolt World and security starts kicking people out, but you're good to stay. The next one, I can't wait to see Diddy and Mary J do their jump dance. My favorite on the album right now. Next one, I interviewed Diddy's long. Y'all get the point. Now, Dawn, here's her tweets that mention Diddy. She's responding to a Vlad TV, of course, Vlad TV. Somebody posted a screenshot of a Vlad TV covering the situation. Dawn Montgomery announces exit from Revolt TV amid sexual assault claims against Diddy. That headline is misleading, and there's no fucking punctuation. Yes. So she clears this up. She said, let's clear this up, Vlad TV. What's real is I did leave Revolt Podcast Network because of the sexual assault claims against me made by Cassie. I was not assaulted by him, as many of you have assumed, because of this headline. Also, my name is misspelled. Yes, say it every time. Yikes. No, fuck that. Every time. Again, to be clear, this is another one. Someone said better wait late than to the news of her leaving Revolt. Mm-hmm. Someone said it's better late than never. I just wish more people recognize that he's always been a horrible person and avoid taking on any opportunities from the jump. She says, to be clear, someone else is the CEO of Revolt. And I stated in my thread that the silence from leadership is a part of why I'm not signing back on.
Because the reality of the situation is this motherfucker out here doing the craziest shit, and he's been doing it for the longest time. And for you motherfuckers to say nothing, not one statement, nothing. Of course you're not going to stay there. Well, right. Of course she's not going to stay there.
Right.
Come on, man.
I'm sure Diddy influences many decisions at Revolt, but I never signed on just because of it being something founded by Diddy. Notice the stark contrast between Dawn and Aisha. Right. Aisha is, I hate to say this, but this is what it looks and sounds like. Aisha is a groupie who happens to be skilled at what she does.
Yeah.
She is very, I'm not taking away from her talent. She's skilled at what she does. However, I read those. Y'all heard them tweet.
You see
Diddy this.
Come on, like she's trying to boost his profile with her shit.
Right.
Like,
all right. So Black journalists. We need more Dawn Montgomerys and less Aisha Thorpes out here. Integrity is supposed to mean something. Okay, so I went back to the Revolt homepage and actually did a manual search for Diddy. This first page of the return searches only included 2 articles from 2023, and both were from February. So I searched for a couple other prominent Black people who have been getting negative publicity in recent times on the Revolt site. In the short time I spent doing that, it seems they don't cover much controversy, which again is fighting in the face of their tagline, because that's not news. Exactly. Avoiding the bad things that happen is not news. Exactly. But I did find one article from someone disregarding people complaining about Lauryn Hill because Kanye has done worse, and in the most explicit example of irony I've seen all week. Part of that article is, quote, "By all means, continue to wait for Yandhi to release, because after all, artists' sins are washed away by their next release. Maybe even Lauryn Hill joke memes would fade away if she would release a follow-up to her classic solo debut album. Maybe not, because women don't get those kind of chances in the spotlight. I mean, look at who often gets blamed for Kanye West's shortcomings, Kim Kardashian. She was like this before her. I mean, he was like this before her, and he'll be like this after her. Trust." End quote. Way to stand up for women, Revolt.
I gotta say, man,
kinda, because again, there's interestingly enough, though, I looked up who owns Revolt. Mm-hmm. On Bloomberg. This is very interesting. It gives a list of the executives. Every single executive has not been fired. So, like, from the time they signed on, they are still in their position.
Right.
But there is one person whose status says pending. Diddy. So I don't know if they are talking about trying to get him out of there. I don't, but every other executive, it has definitive start date to present. Diddy is the only person on this entire list that says pending.
Sometimes these corporate entities, man, they drag their feet on shit they shouldn't be dragging their feet on. Like, this is a lot of shit coming out about this, man. It's a lot of shit. And it's one of those type of things that kind of spreads across different even genres. You got the pop shit, and then you got the rape shit. And then,
right. I just saw this Liberty Twitcher. Why are you asking that question? I'm confused. Anyway, but Diddy's a billionaire. And though all of that could cause a bit of financial decline, it wouldn't ruin him financially. So he did what he did, and maybe now all this will be buried and put behind him. Except former Bad Boy president label sued for sexual assault and negligence. Less than a week after this, Diddy was accused of rape and sex trafficking by Cassie, a longtime executive at his company, Bad Boy Entertainment, is being sued for allegedly grooming and sexually assaulting his assistant. Harvey Pierre, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't fucking know. The former president of Bad Boy, who met Diddy when they were students together at Howard University, is accused of preying on the Jane Doe plaintiff on multiple occasions in New York City and other locations throughout the country. The complaint filed in New York County Supreme Court and obtained by Rolling Stone reads, Pierre used his position of authority as plaintiff's boss to groom, exploit, and sexually assault her. Pierre engaged in a year-long pattern of grooming plaintiff, leading to sexual harassment of plaintiff and sexual assault. The anonymous assistant alleges Pierre sexually assaulted her on multiple occasions from 2016 to 2017. As a result, she suffered physical, emotional, and psychological injuries. Along with the pain and suffering, a woman is asking for damages that will fully and fairly compensate her. The lawsuit also names Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, and Combs Enterprises as co-defendants. Now, this looks bad on him. Again, wait. Again,
you are a master of understatement.
Wait. Again, though, the slight silver lining he could take from this is that his person isn't named as a defendant in this particular case. So maybe now all of this will be buried and put behind him. Except Sean Diddy Combs accused of drugging, sexually assaulting.
Saw that one too.
Yo.
A woman when she was in college. Sean Diddy Combs has a new lawsuit by a woman who alleges the music mogul drugged her, sexually assaulted her, and recorded the assault without her knowledge when she was a college student in 1991. The suit was filed in the New York Supreme Court on Thursday, one day before the expiration of the New York Adult Survivors Act, more on that later, which allows adult sexual assault survivors 1 year to sue regardless of when the original statute of limitations has expired. This is also so listen, you know how this type of thing goes though, right? Like it'll potentially be settled in some way as the ones from less famous people often are. Then it'll be buried and put behind him.
Sure.
Except Sean Diddy Combs accused in third lawsuit this month of sexually assaulting a woman. Singer Aaron Hall is also named in the lawsuit. The woman identified as Jane Doe accused Combs and Hall of assaulting her and her friend in the early 90s. Diddy has another sexual assault case by another woman who alleged in a lawsuit that music mogul and R&B singer Aaron Hall assaulted her and her friend in Hall's apartment in 1990 or 1991. The alleged assault happened following an event at the offices of MCA Records, according to a lawsuit filed Thursday in New York Supreme Court, one day before the expiration of the New York Adult Survivor Act. Again, more on that in a little bit, which allows adults, blah, blah, blah. Spokesperson for Combs told NBC News, these are fabricated claims falsely alleging misconduct from over 30 years ago.
Oh, which one?
He said these.
Oh, so all of them. You know what?
And filed at the last minute, this is nothing but a money grab because of Mr. Combs' fame of success. He is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. Now, we were just talking earlier how when things like this happen, I tend to ask to what end and who benefits. I have the answer of who benefits. Yes, potentially. However, now you have to extrapolate this. He is powerful and successful. He's not the first Black billionaire.
He's not.
And I don't recall all of the Black billionaires having this happen to them. Like if it was a pattern that once Forbes officially recognizes a Black man,
and then all of these
lawsuits come. All right, cool. Then I'd be like, all right, what's going on here?
Right.
But that hasn't been the case. But shitty of a person as Kanye is.
Facts.
I never heard no
facts.
As shitty as the person as he is.
The reality of the situation is really this. Diddy has had years of this shit floating around, and we live in a different time now, right? So you can get access to all kinds of information now. Also, the public tone has changed on a lot of these sort of accusations, so people feel a lot more comfortable. Why? Because some of the early women that did that shit, they took the bullet for it. They came out and caught all the spears. Oh, why she wait so long? Why does that never? What did it? They took all the spears, but all of that has been adjudicated. And the public was like, yo, sometimes women will take a longer time to do it because just the shit y'all doing right now, this shit right here that y'all doing right now, that's why they won't say nothing, right? Yeah. So the tone has changed. The mood has shifted. I mean, Diddy, you about to go down.
Listen, wait, so
all the way down.
Now, I know what a lot of Black people that are into the conspiracy theories and whatnot. Diddy was about to buy NBC. but Occam's razor and a cursory Google search reveals what actually is going on here. Our show is only 3 hours, so I'm not going to read the entire article and deep dive completely into it. But Adult Survivors Act. Why so many sexual assault lawsuits have been filed under New York law? New York's Adult Survivors Act is set to expire Friday, which had given victims of sexual abuse a 1-year window for claims that would otherwise be barred by time limits. As a result, an avalanche of complaints and lawsuits have been filed in its last several days, with figures including Diddy, his former president, Harvey Pierre, Jamie Foxx, Axl Rose, Russell Brand, Jimmy Iovine, L.A. Reid, Cuba Gooding Jr., and more have been sued for sexual assault ahead of the deadline. More than 2,500 lawsuits have been filed so far under the law. Over a dozen have been filed by a particular New York-based law firm. Not all of the suits are against entertainment figures. A large majority have been filed against the state,
Right.
New York City, and local counties, and involve allegations of abuse at state prisons and local jail systems. The attorney behind Cassie's lawsuit, Jane Doe's lawsuit again. Okay, it's actually more specific. Okay, I was trying to summarize. The attorney behind Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy, Jane Doe's lawsuit against Jimmy Iovine, and Julia Ormond's suit against Harvey Weinstein, Wigdor said one reason so many lawsuits against people in the entertainment industry have come out in the last few days of the law is because of the publicity that Cassie's case has received. He says, I think that our case involving Sean Combs really got a lot of publicity, and people read about this Adult Survivors Act. And I think that provided impetus for people to come forward, even though there were only a few days to do so. And so my hope is that at some point they'll extend the ASA again, which is a possibility. And so that way other people can come forward. He says public perception may change the entertainment industry in response to credible sexual misconduct claims. Quote, with at least Cassie's case, from what I observed, she received almost uniform support for coming forward. He said, when someone has evidence and support and a story that resonates as being truthful, that the public is very receptive to holding people accountable for these heinous acts. So Diddy has 3 lawsuits. Russell Brand, Terry Richardson accused by 2 women. Jamie Foxx denies accusations filed. Axl Rose accused of 1989 sexual assault. Record label execs Jimmy Iovine and L.A. Reid, Cuba Gooding Jr. sued for sexual assault and battery. Bill Cosby, NBC Universal sued by the Cosby Show actress before adult. Which actress? Unnamed woman.
Okay. I think
unnamed woman.
I've heard about this, vague stuff about this. But to quote Al Pacino from Devil's Advocate, they're coming out.
So, discuss.
Hey, what's up, Cosby? Yes, let's discuss this. First of all, it's always funny to me, right? Because a lot of people tend to err on the side of power, privilege, and position.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
So when these sort of things come out, you'll find this just a bunch of people ready to put their capes on and defend the already powerful, the already wealthy, the already privileged. Hold up. What's going on? He just sent the Diddy signal. Let me put my cape on and go out here and block these bullets for Mr. Combs.
Right.
For P. Daffy Combs. Right? let me do that. Let me do that. And I often wonder about that shit. It's like sometimes this is purely fan worship and cultish fan worship at that.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is not people actually protecting Diddy.
They're protecting themselves.
Protecting themselves.
Absolutely.
They have done.
So I'm glad you brought that up. One of the lawyers that I was referencing, the reason I did not quote her is because I don't feel like doing all the allegedlys.
Right.
So one of the lawyers that I referenced specifically said that this is different. This before the other two, the 3, the one including his ex-president of the company. Before those 3 came out, she was like, this is very different than a lot of other cases of similar magnitude because no, you don't have people coming out generally and defending him. You're always going to have the few assholes. The what do they call it? The creep squad, Peter Guns and so you're always going to have them type of people. But she said people are being silent about it.
Yeah.
And that's worse.
It is worse. It is. Just think about it. But basically, that's the silent judgment shit, right? That's what it is. The silent judgment. It's like either they're thinking, I know this motherfucker. So yeah, this happened, but I ain't saying shit because I don't want my name.
Right.
Or somebody else is saying, I got shit in my closet. So I'm not saying a motherfucking thing.
His character is not good enough to jump for.
Yes.
His character is also too powerful to jump for.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because if he manages to skate
right
on all of these, excuse me, and to be clear, this is still the United States of America. He could absolutely skate.
Yeah, he's a billionaire
on all of these. He's a billionaire.
Unfortunately,
you know what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with
the repercussions.
The revenge,
nigga. That revenge store, my guy. That revenge store gonna be,
especially
even if you're not a conspiracy theorist,
right?
Yes,
right.
Heard too much.
Yes,
to put yourself in this.
Facts.
Also, if all them other rumors,
nigga,
about him slapping the shit out of motherfuckers is true.
Well, no. Listen. I am not a fan of Diddy. They aren't rumors. All the stuff about him putting his hands up, they are not rumors.
So if all of that stuff, and y'all got to remember this too, for those who maybe weren't paying attention at the time, it wasn't their cultural lane to be paying attention in. Diddy had his fair share of run-ins with legal shit early on.
Yeah.
One of the, I know about some of the stuff because I know people that was involved in some of it, right?
Right.
And because of it, they were afraid to even let him know that certain things happened because they knew his aversion to getting jammed up in something, after the last shit. So I wonder how he feels now.
Nigga.
Because that was years ago.
I was just telling Jenna that even stuff that was done in the public eye, like making the band, the stuff that he would have them do.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
He's already
a
terrible.
Person. Yeah.
So it's not hard to believe.
When
you watch that kind of stuff. There was borderline abusive stuff on TV.
Yep.
So imagine what's not on TV.
It's just the level of tolerance for what was different back then.
Right.
That's all it is. That's all it is. And which raises another point culturally about that. Those of you that are quasi celebrating the fall of P. Daffy Combs, those of you that are publicly celebrating that for the wrong reasons, right? Some of you are the same ones claiming people too sensitive nowadays. But we saw examples of that bullshit just from that old reality show, Making the Band. We saw it, right? And some of you long for those times to come back where you can just do abusive shit like that and nobody complains because we're not insensitive. So if you're celebrating right now, but you one of them, I'm kind of looking at you a little weird.
Yeah.
Just saying. Because if some of these same people would have came out back then, I think your attitude would have been different.
A little bit. This is fucking ridiculous. Like literally, because the reason I wrote it the way that I wrote the notes is because literally every time I finish with one, I found another one. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
Malcolm X said, this is what people refer to as chickens coming home to roost. And as an old farm, as an old farm boy, that's not a reason for me to be upset. In fact, we celebrate when chicks. Yo, if you was getting away with this shit all this time, intimidating people into silence, abusing your power, the position you were in, and making people's lives miserable, fucking miserable, and you're getting caught now. And now that we see the pile on, the stack of this, I don't want to hear anybody running around here trying to really defend this nigga because he got away with this for a long fucking time. And just because everything is coming on him now, yeah, it should, because once you can make God bleed, just saying, sharks in the water, they coming to get your ass for all that shit you pulled, for all that, take that, all that, all right, all that. It's coming. Chicken's coming home to roost, bro. You got to deal with it. And I don't know what he's going to do, but I know he attempted to settle some shit so that his business wouldn't be affected. I don't see how he walks out of this completely without any of his business shit being affected. I just don't see it. If he does, he's a dancing motherfucker.
He's at least lost a podcast.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
A popular podcast.
No telling how much revenue that was
bringing in. Right. At the very least. Then on top of that, this Bloomberg that's a pending. I don't know what it said before this started. Right. Because I had no reason to look.
Oh, what if it was always pending?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. It's potential that it might have always been pending. But if that's a recent update, yikes. Super yikes.
Hey, listen, sir. You ain't dancing out of this one. Can't Bell Biv DeVoe your way out of this one.
You know what's funny about that? Somebody, I didn't pay attention to it because it was only the Cassie thing at the time. And I was like, all right, this was a bright, white, hot flash of light, and status quo will be arriving soon.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. So when they said it, I didn't commit it to memory. But someone said something about potentially the state filing charges on him. I don't know if that's even a possibility at this point.
Here's how it works. It does depend on statute limitation. But typically what happens, and this is what I tell people all the time, I used to have to inform people of this when I was younger who didn't really get this. Like, yo, this man attacked this other person. Right? The police was called. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They are now effectively
the state's going to take the charge. It doesn't matter with this person. Sure, when he goes to court, he can say what he wants and all that, right? But the state's taking this up now.
Yep.
It's above you now.
And yes,
right. It's above
and people don't understand the difference between civil and criminal.
It's a difference.
Because a lot of people were complaining when the settlement happened. Oh, she just wanted money. Right. No, that's what a fucking civil suit is.
It's about money.
A civil suit is money.
You're not going to go to jail for a civil suit.
Now, that's what I'm saying. Now, the findings in a civil suit might end up having charges brought against you.
Exactly.
States will take it.
Right.
But I was
and vice versa. You might skate from a criminal shit. But get hit up in the civil
as has happened with a lot of those goddamn police brutality cases.
O.J. Simpson skated on the criminal, got hit up in civil because the evidence is different. What up, free thinker?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we got through the gauntlet. I wanted to bring up something that's going to take up a little bit of time simply because I'm trying to keep the same energy.
Yes.
We talk about a bunch of different topics on the show, and every now and then, I will, and I know every now and then Tim will look at the podcast. We'll look at absolutely. We'll look at the podcast, Higher Learning, because oftentimes one at least of the topics that we're going to address, they talk about.
That's facts.
And I've been on here several times expressing my complicated feelings about Van and my feelings about Rachel as it relates to Van on their show.
Yeah.
I got to push back on this. And I think what's happening is that Van he made a claim. I'm gonna get to the claim, but I think what's happening is Van doesn't have the right perspective. Also, with the topics they talk about on the Higher Learning podcast that make it to the show, like I said, I often think Van is on the right side and Rachel be wilding.
Yeah,
often that's how I feel. But I gotta keep that same energy.
Less informed about something.
Well, that's the. I'm glad you said that. Rachel's right on this one. Van's wild.
For Rachel to be right.
It did, but you gotta understand why. It's not. I would say two things about this hurt equally. One of them is me having to say that Rachel was right, but the other one is me having to make the claim that I'm going to have to make. It seems like, I will say though, it does seem like she has the same problem that Van has, because whenever Van is right and she's wilding, if she's way off base, he tends to not be able to find the argument, or the way to present the argument that would actually reach her. Yeah. And she suffered that same thing this time. Like, she was absolutely right. Van was absolutely off base. Yo, I hate you so much. I'm not even gonna click it because I know what you put in there. I'm not even gonna click it. I'm not gonna click it.
Whatever do you mean?
Okay, whatever. Actually, I have a clip for this one. But yeah, this is a bit odd to me. Is the reason it's not okay for either one of them. I feel like not okay. I don't want to make it seem like it's a moral thing or a judgment thing. It's just as far as like going back and forth is concerned. If Tim says something or if I say something that is off, the counterpart has the way to reach the other person, so we can get to understanding what's going on. Let me pull this clip up. This is not a serious topic at all in any way, shape, or form. So there's nothing that you guys need to. It's not something you guys need to brace yourselves for or anything. It's just
she's usually wrong.
It's just an egregious take from that.
Drake is bigger than any hip hop standard. We love Drake so much that we don't even hold him to the same hip hop standards that we hold everybody else to. He's like in his own category. That's how much we love Drake.
Are you saying we consider him a GOAT?
Yeah, Drake is definitely considered a GOAT. There's no way you can't consider Drake a GOAT right now.
Overall, right now, or like if you had to name like a top 5, would you put him in it?
Drake has had the single greatest rap career of any rapper ever.
I'm not talking about like.
All right. So, Van is dead wrong. But obviously this topic lasted much longer than 30 seconds. But Van is dead wrong. And he has some points, right? But he's kind of doing a God of the Gaps thing.
Yeah, and a lot of those
he can't explain why Drake gets a pass on several things he's done. And the things that he mentioned weren't in the clip. One of them was not having a Universal Classic album. One was having ghostwriters. One was bowing out of lyrical warfare, and there were a couple more. So his conclusion is that Drake must be the most beloved and greatest rapper because he doesn't understand why those things are allowed. So to Van's point, Drake is the number 3. Like, as far as raw sales and as far as average sales per album all time, Drake is number 3. But I think there are 2 extremely apparent things that fit right into where Van's gaps are. One, Drake is not just a rapper. So it's funny that we just talked for 40 minutes about Diddy, but Diddy, Dre, Kanye. One thing they all have in common, there's a couple things they all have in common. They've been terrible to women, but they've also been billionaires. But anyway, the thing I'm talking about though is nobody cares that they have writers. Why? Because fair or not, the rule of having to write all of your stuff is for people who pretty much exclusively rap.
Yeah.
Drake does not exclusively rap. I brought receipts and I did research. Couple caveats. Drake has like 54 or so singles that have peaked in the top 10 of either the US, the R&B, hip hop, or rap charts. I am not a Drake fan, so I don't know the vast majority of these songs, but I did a chart and I was going to feel bad because I was not going to be able to stand behind it because I was absolutely not about to listen to 40 plus Drake songs within the span of 5 days. But then I realized that my chart is still valid because my argument is not that Drake is not a rapper. My argument is not that Drake is not a good rapper. My argument is that Drake is not just a rapper. Let's go to the findings. So I looked at 32 of his 54 top 10 charting singles. I already knew the makeup of maybe like 10 or so of the songs. So I was looking to see, did he sing on the song? Did he rap on the song? Where did the song peak on each of those charts? And how much it sold? My findings were absolutely in line with my hypothesis. Some of the songs in this group of 32, I didn't type anything before. I didn't type anything for at all because, again, I was not about to listen to a bunch of Drake songs. I have sufficient info, though, for about 18 of them. So that's over half. Some of the songs I put that he does not rap without me knowing for sure, but I based that on the fact that the song didn't chart on the rap charts.
Right.
If it was number 1 US and number 5 R&B and didn't chart on rap, it's likely he didn't rap on the fucking song. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So of the 18, only 3 of those singles don't have singing vocals from Drake. 2 of those went diamond. He did not rap on either of the 2 that went diamond. There are 1 or 2 songs out of the 18 that he didn't rap on, and they still charted on the rap charts.
Yeah.
So, the answer to Van's question as to why, because the originally started because Drake just put out a extended version to the last project that he put out, and he had a couple lines in there that Van perceived as Drake feeling as though the Black community is not accepting of him, and there's some of that and there's some not of that because. And for this part of the topic, I gotta give Rachel her props. Oh, the reason why it's worse that Rachel finds it hard to find an argument to present to Van that can reach him is because she's a fucking defense attorney.
That's horrible.
But anyway, but
yo,
during that part of the argument, that part of the argument, she was good.
I do recall that floating out there that he feels the Black community doesn't.
Yeah, and there is some understandable reasons. One of them is oftentimes a topic will come up about his white mother. So, and Rachel had a good point. She said, yes, that gets brought up, but it only gets brought up when he tries to portray himself as something we don't know him to be.
Yeah.
So when he goes super gangster, all that other shit, that's when that's brought up.
But also when he first came out,
he wasn't portraying
a bunch of these young boys who happened to be Black
on
it.
Mm-hmm.
They were on it.
Oh hell yeah! And that's another thing. That's another thing that Rachel said. Like again, for the beginning part of the topic, Rachel was on Van ass because Van was way off. That was way the fuck off. But once it got to the point of him talking about Drake has the greatest rap career ever, I'm like, I understand how you reached this conclusion.
Me too. But I get it.
But again, it's a guard of the gas argument because you just don't understand why people let this stuff slide. The vast majority of his fan base aren't hardcore rap fans.
No.
So they aren't going to
But you know what, though?
put him up to the tenets.
No,
of
they're
old
not.
school
They're not going to hold him to the tenets of hip hop. But when you get past a certain amount of people that's listening to your shit, purchasing your shit,
bruh,
you do go outside of the
it's called a
traditional
breakthrough
hip-hop.
artist.
Yeah, like so
Crossover artist.
You're crossover, so you can't expect those people who actually outnumber the real hip hop. They outnumber them.
Yeah,
to hold them accountable.
Facts.
For anything that's hip hop based.
And then
they're not.
Realistically, Drake's a genius. Here's the thing. Whenever this shit happens, he literally just releases something like, all right, so for instance, the biggest example, Meek Mill. Meek Mill started dissing him and talking about how he wasn't a rapper and blah, blah, this, blah. What does Drake do? Drop back to back. It might be the only diss track that has ever won a Grammy.
Right.
So it's like the issue. So what Drake did was he took the Lauryn Hill Fonte formula and extrapolated it. And well,
it's other motherfuckers too, but I don't know if
it's other people. Ja Rule.
Yeah. Even before Ja Rule, I always bring up, and people think it's a joke because they think this was a novelty act, but they really wasn't. Them niggas really could rap for this era. The Fat Boys. The Fat Boys used to sing in their music.
Absolutely.
All the time, right?
Absolutely.
And this predates all these other dudes, you know what I'm saying? Singing and crooning in their shit. This predates that. And yeah, they may have been talking about being fat or whatever, right? But they were singing, and some of them beats was hard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all facts.
Just said.
All facts. Absolutely. So it's like, I think oftentimes when people get into the debates, there's a lot of misunderstanding about particular things. And sometimes, because like sometimes it's because I am the person making the argument and you don't understand what I'm saying, or I am the person making the argument and I don't understand the words that I'm saying in relation to the argument that I'm making.
The delivery system.
Yeah.
The delivery system. Yep.
Like people arguing about not having Drake in whatever top list of rappers aren't saying he's not a talented artist.
Nope. They say
at least the ones arguing in good faith.
They disqualified him from being that shit. Yeah,
that's it. Like I used to be a Drake fan, like the time that you talk about when he first came out. Absolutely, I was a Drake fan back then. And I when what the fuck when back to back drop, I was like, all right, maybe I can give Drake a chance again. And then the next thing he dropped, I was like, fuck, god damn it. Like, boo this man. The fuck? Nigga, you just that was only that was conditional. That was to prove a point.
Yeah, that was conditional.
That was to prove a point. Okay, cool. I understand. I get it. I'm not gonna fall for this shit again.
But that's what made me mad about him not really addressing
Push T.
Well, it made me feel a way. I was like, well, don't get me wrong. Listen, I wasn't like everybody else. I didn't think Back to Back was one of the greatest disses of all times. Right? I've heard some fucked up disses before. Right?
The diss itself, I got to push back. The diss itself is not the strategy involved.
All right, so let's talk about the strategy that we giving him credit for. It's not the first time that's been done either.
What you mean? You gotta be specific.
All right. So dude drops a diss. I'm talking about what's the face? Meek drops a diss. Rapidly rapped on it. Rapped, right? Drake drops a diss. Drake has, what would you say, 10 times the amount of a fan
back
base?
then?
Yeah, 10 times.
Yeah,
and it's probably more now. Probably more now, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We already established that a lot of his fan base at this period, not even real hip hop hits like that. They're not.
Absolutely.
So of course, if he drops something and he says things that he says in that, they gonna rock with it and give it the highest credibility.
Absolutely.
So that it does chart and wins awards.
No, you're wrong. That's not what happened.
Tell me what happened.
Drake dropped the diss song. I don't even know the name of that shit.
I remember the first one.
That shit didn't chart. That shit didn't do none of the shit that you just said. It was not about it was not about his fan base, and it was not that because that first one didn't do none of that shit.
I don't think he made
the first one. People were saying, "Oh, this is gonna be that type of beef." Like people were legitimate because when Meek put his out, people were like, "All right, the people that remember old Drake were like, okay, maybe we might get old Drake back." The people that were like, Drake was just like, what the fuck? Like, why would you? And
do you think the back-to-back is glimpses of the old Drake?
Yes, but only because only in execution, not in lyrical content. Not
to me, that's part of execution. You talking about?
Yeah, it's part of execution.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, back then, he was more direct. This was direct. You couldn't. The first one, again, I don't even remember a line from the first diss. Like, legitimately, if I'm not, I have no idea. He never admitted this, but I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped the first one simply so he could make back to back.
That's what I'm saying. That was a feint, bro.
I agree. I agree. But I agree. But what I'm saying is, it's not that he just put the shit out and it blew up. That ain't happened. His fan base did not just come to blow that shit. No, that shit didn't do nothing. That shit was out there.
Before he dropped it,
I agree that he knew that. That's why that goes into the strategy. That's the point of strategy. You literally put the song out just to make, you know how like when people are producing nowadays, because it ain't the old days no more, they add noise. They add that little buzz. I think that's what that was. He literally just wanted to put that little buzz out there before that was the intro to the track. Like you put the buzz out there, you make everybody
bait people before with bullshit.
Yeah, but when they bait people, generally the bait is for them to bite. That wasn't what this was. This was I'm setting this up. I'm just setting I'm setting up my hook. That this ain't for you to swing so I can parry. This is me setting this up so you can slightly flinch so you open for that hook.
Wait a minute. Let's look at the timeline. He drops. Meek swings first.
Yes.
Right? Meek swings first.
Yeah.
Drake drops that little bullshit.
Yeah,
bullshit. Meek goes again.
No.
Okay. That's
why the name of the song is Back to Back.
Yeah.
So yeah. Basically,
literally 4 days after he dropped the first one, 4 days later, he put out Back to Back.
Right.
And when he put that out, that was him announcing his world tour.
Right.
And that was him predicting Meek and Nicki breaking up.
Right.
And it's so much that go. Like again, I agree that lyrically, absolutely not. No, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it too. But no, lyrically, no, it's not at the top.
Yeah.
I gotta say, strategically, though, my guy, it ain't number one, but it's up there.
The question I'm asking is, how do we know that he dropped that first one, and then he named the second one Back to Back simply because that first one?
No, I think he wrote them. I think he wrote both of them at the same time.
How do we? That's what I'm saying.
I don't think because it was 4 days later. Like, here's the thing: if it was, yes, I could. You could, but again, you got to think about it like this. This is another part of the aspect of the strategy from Drake. Nobody's expecting him to.
That's true.
You get pushed.
The reason people not expecting him to is because he had flipped his style up so
much. No, 1,000%.
And then no one expected him to come out with that shit.
Listen, if we talk, what up, Paul? Oh, God.
What up, Paul?
Oh, God. But here's the thing. If we're talking about strategy, right? Regardless of how we personally feel about it, we know how this is revered. We got to talk art of war. Know not enemy, as you know not self.
Sure.
So he knew that Meek was not going to be able to put out a response that quick. He knew how people felt about him and what his image, himself, and what his image was. It was the perfect setup. Like I said, he used it to announce his world tour. He used it to predict that Nicki was going to leave Meek. Like, all this shit.
Hey,
like, bruh.
Listen, I don't give Meek an excuse, because
nah,
when you and I both have studios in our homes.
Correct. Oh yeah.
We got
no, he
access.
could have done it. Yeah. There's no
excuse.
This was after Meek was already Meek.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't have personal access, he could have gotten in contact with somebody
easily. I'll try to
and the worst part about it is this is something that Drake couldn't have possibly predicted. When Meek finally responded, it was trash.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
So, but that also adds to the quote legend of back to back, because the perception is Drake put this one out, it was but then he put out this other one, it was good, and that was 4 days apart. Meek had another week or so.
That's true.
Still didn't put out a good record.
That shit was not good.
That shit was trash.
Not good. That shit was not
so
good.
That's all I'm saying is that from a high level looking down perspective, the kid know what he do. I say kid, he's my age. He knows what he's doing.
Believe me. He did. He bullied him. He's an 800-pound gorilla.
Nigga. 1,000%. 1,000%.
It's crazy to say, too.
You would never think.
The Grassy bully.
Jimmy Brooks.
Right.
Wheelchair Jimmy.
I'm saying, like, it's crazy to say that, but he bullied him.
He bullied him.
I got too many people right up here. I saw somebody else attempt to do that. Yo, I said the same thing, Palm. I said the same thing. Like Joey.
That's funny. Yes, no, that's true. Palm, 1,000%. That is not up for debate. He didn't do it to Joey. He didn't do it to Pusha T.
Joe did back to back without naming the shit back to back.
That's facts. That's facts.
It bars.
But here's the thing also. Here's the thing also. As much as the three of us might hate it, financially,
no, that's true.
Joey wasn't doing shit at the time.
No, he wasn't. And
Meek was.
That's literally been the story of Button's career.
Yeah.
Since pimping.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is why I said the people who are really going to elevate the noise of a diss from Drake are not going to be mostly hip hop hits. They're going to be people that are casuals.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, the people that's going to elevate Joe Budden shit is going to be hip hop hits, and they don't have the same volume.
Correct.
They don't have the same volume.
But that's why when you do that shit and you get the hip hop heads to be like,
right?
Oh, Drake. And yo, also the line, you getting bodied by a singing nigga.
Yeah, you got
right.
It.
I mean, that's
what made Joey's this even better when he said you can't bell Bim.
Yeah, no, I get it. If we're Paul said
it's nasty work, bro.
No, but if we
nasty work,
I wouldn't lyrically. I wouldn't even attempt to rank back to back strictly because of how much respect I have for the strategy of it. Because I know that would color how I rank it lyrically. Because lyrically, it ain't.
Let's talk about it for a second lyrically, though.
Yeah.
So no, it's not dense.
It's not no Vaseline. It's not bitching you. It's not.
There is some credibility behind the diss being the way it is from a tone perspective.
Oh, fair.
This is the thing I find that a lot of rappers who aren't good songwriters, they don't understand. They say, well, I just rapped my ass off. I just got double entendre under this, that, and I did all this stuff.
Sure.
Why they fucking with this other one?
You should have dropped the freestyle then.
Facts, bro. Tone, delivery. What's the other word I'm looking for? Context. That goes into a proper battle as well. Like, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you're saying it. You feel me? The perception could be, see that laid back flow he used right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's him not giving a fuck about none of that. And they'll factor that into the whole tone. And usually I find the people who don't get it, when you go and listen to their music, they're not good songwriters.
All right, I'm sorry. Point of order, Palm. You're never going to get a response from Royce. Mickey Facts.
Royce just response.
No, that wasn't a fucking response. Mickey Facts obliterated Royce the 5'9". I thought I would never listen ever in my life. Yo, I knew for a fact there were certain Royce not getting murdered on a track. Those were the three things. But then Mickey started checking boxes, and
but listen, he lost a lot of points from me because I was a big Royce fan.
Absolutely.
I've been speaking up about Royce since Death is Certain and before, right?
Thanks.
Basically telling motherfuckers, yo, go back and listen to them tracks with him and M on it. Tell me if this nigga ain't holding his own.
Yes.
This nigga's nice, right?
Yeah.
But when he didn't respond to Mickey, I felt the way. Yeah. And then to do a half-hearted, I'm gonna pluck you over here in this verse thing with some shit he did recently.
Yeah,
nah, bro.
Here's the thing: acknowledging that you're not going to respond to something that you didn't respond to that's 2 years old.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of bringing it up?
Only like if you ignore that this time, like you ignored them 2 years when you ain't say shit. We was looking. What niggas tell him? You got a week.
Right.
You got a week. By the way, Mickey crafted that shit in 72 hours.
Yes. Thanks. Not only did he make that in 72 hours, he also rapped as 3 different niggas.
Yeah. This is why I'm saying, like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Some of these excuses, they make the ass stink. Like,
I mean, all right, no, stop. Wait. No. We're going too far. My last point on back to back, right? I'm looking at the lyrics. Listen. This is what I would say about these goddamn lyrics. Out of context of his delivery and all that other, out of the context, just the words that he put in the song. If you were going to, this could be a battle rap round. Mm-hmm. Like, legitimately, this could be a third round because just all the references, like, I drove here in a Rafe playing AR Ab, big in Philly.
Yep.
Him and Meek was beefing at the time.
Yep.
I'm not sure what it was that really made y'all mad, but I guess this is what I got to do to make y'all rap. Coming from Drake.
Right. These niggas rap. Ain't that what that shit Geechee be saying?
Bruh. This is a third round, nigga. Like, this for y'all that think that I don't write enough. Y'all just mad because I got the Midas touch. So, in addition to the whole Jordan, because the cover was a Jordan back to back. It's the championships, gold, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. You getting bodied by a singing nigga. I'm not the type of nigga that'll type the niggas and shout to all my boss bitches, wife and niggas.
Yo, that
was the nail in the coffin.
It was. But
he could have said Dr. Seuss shit.
That's a big room third. That's a big room third. Because
the rest of the song could have been fucking Dr. Seuss. It wouldn't have mattered. That was the nail in the coffin right there.
Yeah. That's not a small room. You be clear, that is not a small room third. That is a big stage third where they need to hear everything you're saying. So you spacing it out and you got the punches right where you want them at, so everybody can catch along and do sing along with the rock. That's what it is.
All facts, bro. All facts. And then no, we off of that. All right, moving on. Because again, that was the other part that I hated about this goddamn Van Lathan situation, is because you have me fucking defending Drake again.
Drake?
All right.
Is it, hold up, before you continue, is it crazy that I like Soulja Boy now more than I have ever?
No, it's not crazy.
Not
no more. That's what I'm saying. No, it's not crazy. He don't rap no more. Like, what do you mean? yo, Vomit LL is just.
I know, yo. Like, nigga, look, I tagged him in a recent freestyle L did, which was nice. And by the way, those first few bars, that's Napalm old flow. That's why I tagged him. That's his old flow, right? I was like, what you got to say about Uncle L now?
That's funny. Hilarious. All right. Moving on to Weekend Review.
Oh, yeah. The Weekend Review. I should probably go first because I really only have a couple of things. But what is Chrissy at?
I got a lot.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I better.
It's about you, so go ahead.
So all right. Friday, yesterday, was the notorious Negro Friday. I mean, Black Friday. Right.
Oh.
And y'all know.
I'm sorry now.
Y'all know traditionally, right? Traditionally, Black Friday puts up images of motherfuckers going crazy, rock bottom and motherfuckers to cashier tables and shit to get the latest toy, gadget, whatever, while it's on sale. I have never, and no rock means ever, participated in that foolishness, because
did it one time, never again.
Because it just the look of it. I was on some Alberto Del Rio shit. You are beneath me. I'm not doing that. However, I did that yesterday.
Oh shit.
So there's this place that's literally named Black Friday Deals.
Come on, y'all.
It's named Black Friday Deals. It's named that. I've never heard of it before. It's in Laurel, my old stomping grounds. I've never seen it. I've been in that area. Go ahead.
So what if it's a random Tuesday, right?
It's Black Friday sales. That's the name of the place.
Would I still be able to go in?
Yes, and shit.
They just have even more deals.
It might they'll section off, that's the deal versus the other stuff that's in there, right? Yeah, they did that. Like, we gonna talk about it. So this is how we found out about it. Somebody put my wife onto it by sharing a video of their commercial. In this commercial, the biggest cap since a 10-gallon hat. Everything for $10, y'all. laptop speakers. This.
Okay, whoa.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
did hear this place.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
Yeah.
What?
You wanted to buy a $10 laptop?
No, not the laptop. Just stay over there.
So my wife shares with me that commercial, the ad. I look at it and go, they got to be capping, right? They got to be. That $10 laptop is probably like made from Hasbro or some shit like that.
Tiger Electronics.
right. They got to be. It's got to be capped. But, and we figured it would be. This has got to be capped.
Right.
My wife said, but if not,
No. Paul said the words of Rosa Parks. No.
now. Right? So we decide we're gonna go and give it a chance. Now, they had the special shit going from 7 p.m. Thursday night till midnight, and then they reopened up again at 7 a.m. restocked. This is what they said, restocked, and then they go for, I forget when their closing on Friday was. We go there Thursday evening. There's a line. We pull up. There's a line from the door that looks like it's going down to the end of the little mall area that it's at. Okay, that's kind of long, but not that bad. We get out the car. As we start walking closer, we see, no. That line extended all the way in the parking lot over to where the dumpsters were at.
Oh, no.
Now, it was a point of order, sir.
So you stood near trash in order to buy trash.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So, of course, when we got there, it was maybe 10 minutes before it was about to open the doors or some shit. We get out there. First, some of the people that worked there was walking along the line, giving out these tickets. He notices some people that's in front of us that we didn't even notice, apparently let somebody in line. He goes off on these people and says he needs to get out this line and go to the back. Can't come out here in front of all these people and just get in line. It's not going to happen. You got to the count of 5.
Oh.
What was going to happen at 5?
Right. Right. He counted to 5. They didn't move. He was like, you're not getting in here. When you go up to this bill, you're not getting in. I'm like, oh, damn.
Do tell.
It's wild that he actually counted to 5.
Right. He counted to 5. He did. So he gave out tickets to everybody but them. So when it finally opens, the line actually moves fairly quick, but they're only letting in a certain amount of people at a time because I'm sure there are fire department ordinances for having so many people in this building. And believe me, that building was a nice size, but it wasn't going to handle this amount of people. So when we get up there, we hear it's a guy from Florida that's there. I don't know if he came there specifically for that or just to visit his family because of Thanksgiving or whatever. But he came there and it was with this other sister that was there.
Mm.
We're talking to them in line. The sister tells me, before y'all got up to this far, somebody was running about snatching tickets out of people's hands. Me and Malik looked at each other and chuckled. We chuckled.
Of course.
Because you see, we made it known loudly. I wish a motherfucker would snatch anything out of my hand.
Oh, God.
Right? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Y'all gonna be gumming your Thanksgiving dinner.
That's funny.
What? We get up to there. We go inside. Now, remember when I told you they were talking about laptops, speakers and all of this shit. Nigga, they had about 6 long tables in the middle of the place with boxes that you could barely tell what the fuck was in them, and a bunch of other shit that really was. I didn't see one laptop the whole time in that motherfucker. I did see speakers, but those speakers weren't in this area. They was closer to the door, and they had price tags of $199. In the back, there's refrigerators and beds along the side. Of course, they're not $10. They're sitting in the back. All of the shit that was in the middle of these 6 tables, Garbino.
Of course.
Garbino. And what it looks like what they did, you know how Amazon has the shit that they reject and shit?
Mm-hmm.
They got that shit from Amazon. That's what. So,
actually, quick point of order, sir, because I'm doing more of this later, but to help the people out, Black Friday deals, I know it's past Black Friday, but there are still deals happening up until like the end of next week, whatever the case may be. So when you buy stuff for Black Friday, if you see that it has a ridiculous discount, look up the model number and look for reviews, because what they tend to do is all the shit that didn't sell, some of the shit that's defective, they put it together and they package it up and they sell it at a discount, which is not a discount. They're still making money off of it. This is common with TVs. They have all of this spare piece here, spare piece there, spare. Put that shit in a case, connect that shit, sell it for $50. How you get a 30-inch TV 4K for $50? So so when y'all see these deep discounts, make sure y'all look up the product number, the model number, and look for reviews. And if you don't see a damn review, I mean it's fake. It's going to work to an extent.
Yeah,
those might find some tape on it.
He came in with a box full of boxes. So yeah, that's what this was.
Yeah,
it was so packed. So they did the bare minimum of guidance, meaning so many people in here that they got certain areas that are marked with, hey, you walk through this part to get to the cashier line. Except for, no, that's not what happened. You walk through there, it leads you to another part where there is no signs. And you're once again back amongst the rabid dogs reaching for shit, trying to grab shit. So you still can't get through. Then when you finally get over there to where an appearance of a line, they must have realized, man, this ain't gonna work. So they start doing what me and Gray did down in Georgia. They had the handheld shit, walking the line.
Right.
After we paid for the little bit of shit that we did manage to get, a teapot, some other shit, we give to people. Like, here you go, teapot. That's funny. And still couldn't get out because there was so many people. We had to literally navigate our way through the masses to get out. And when we finally got to the door, the guy, one of the guys that was working there that can't walk along the line, he was like, kind of crazy, ain't it, bro? I said, I have never seen so many risk so much for so little. It's like, and now I'm back on my Dean. I will never do some shit like this again. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun family outing because we was laughing and joking.
Sure, yeah.
Right? But, bruh, it don't feel right. It don't feel right. It was ass.
I mean, duh.
And just the last thing.
Look at the players involved. Oh, my bad.
Shut up. The last thing I'm going to say is All of you Kickstarter supporters, this upcoming week, the last 3 tiers are going to be put on the website. So when you see your tier pop up on the Kickstarter campaign update shit, go check your inboxes. If you are someone that purchased printed copies for cover C and cover D, and then the very last one, the $160 joint with both metal covers signed of issue 0 and issue 1, they're coming up this week.
Right.
And yeah, that was basically my week.
Nigga.
What you got?
I was going to talk about work, but I can't really say
Yeah,
that.
I can hear
You can't talk about that.
So since we talk about it, I'm just going to say one sentence. Change is on the horizon. We're just going to leave it at that.
You could have just said change gonna come.
I should have.
Yeah.
But I don't know yet. It's on the horizon. I'm not sure
Right.
what's going to happen yet. We're just going to leave it at that. So that does take off some stuff.
That's ominous.
I know, right? All right, wait, one more sentence. I think that people are going to learn what it takes to be a leader based on what's going to happen. People are going to learn that either the easy way or the hard way.
Yikes.
And I feel like it's going to be the hard way.
Yikes.
Unfortunately. That's work. On to better things. So people that know me know that I don't cook. Like, I can survive, but I'm just not the person that's going to cook. But I like to bake. So I've told myself I'm going to try to do new things. I always say you shouldn't try new things, though, for like a group of people, like a holiday, specifically Thanksgiving. But I was like, what the hell? I'm going to do it anyway. So I decided I was going to make brownies. And I decided to start Tuesday night. I'm glad I picked Tuesday instead of Wednesday because it was a disaster. So shut up. And I'm dramatic. So Tuesday night, I go to the store and I get everything I need to make brownies. These are brownies from scratch, not from a box. I've made brownies from a box, but I just want to do something different. So I get everything. I get the cocoa powder. I get Giant's brand. I get the light brown sugar, the butter. What else did I get? Honestly, it's not much. Eggs. It's not hard. I get home and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. Make these brownies. And I'm going to make them tonight and test them out on my roommates just in case it's not to par. Because I'm not about to give it to my parents or James if it's not good. Especially not James.
Nigga.
Because you cook. So I'm not doing it.
I don't bake.
So what? So I make them and it ends up making like 2 batches. And
no, hold on. You tell me you ain't get it?
You stupid.
No, hold up. You ain't get it? It's in the whatever. All right, we're gonna have to check that tracking number.
I made 2 batches, finished, and I looked at them and I automatically knew this is nasty. So I took them out, cut them, tasted a piece, and proceeded to throw a toddler temper tantrum because they were nasty. Yes, this is what he has to deal with. Temper tantrums. So Gina comes over and she's like, let me taste one. Well, Gina cooks too. So I said, no, get away from my brownies. They taste like a garbage can. I don't want you to taste them. And she was like, move, I'm going to taste the brownie. So she takes a little bit of the brownie. She tastes it and she's like, this is not nasty. She's like, what's wrong with it? And I said, it's bitter. It tastes like dark chocolate. I hate dark chocolate.
Delicious.
Ew. And it was like a cake consistency, not a brownie consistency.
That's a problem.
So she was like, okay, I see that. She said,
like
but the taste is bad.
Nigga.
So she said, we'll eat these. Because I was going to throw them in trash.
Right.
Like, no, don't throw them in trash. We'll eat them. So I went back to the store. Well, wait, before I did that, I started doing more research, looking at more videos, taking stuff from everybody's recipe and making it my own, which I did not do the first time. The first time I just followed somebody's recipe. Okay. So I went back to the store, got some more things, came back, and I said, okay, Wednesday, I'm going to leave work early. I'm going to come home and try again. And the second take was great. There's still some things I want to tweak, but it wasn't to the point where I wouldn't feed somebody. Like, you can have a piece. Just don't judge me. It'll get better. But yeah, they turned out fine. And I was able to let James taste them because I wasn't going to. And
you probably would have ate them.
Gave them to my parents.
Well, I don't like dark chocolate either. Oh, so
yeah, it was.
But again, I'm fairly certain that they were not nasty. Right.
They was nasty.
Especially when somebody else ate them and said, "What you talking about?"
Nigga.
They're fine.
Right.
They're fine.
Yeah, they just weren't. So one of the issues was,
hey Ruth,
a giant brand of cocoa powder, which had a weird aftertaste. So when I went back, I got Hershey's brand, which was sweeter, and I just added some more sugar. But anyway, it turned out fine. Everything was okay. Which brings me to Thanksgiving.
Nigga.
I'm not gonna get too deep in Thanksgiving because I feel like it's on James' thing too. So James was supposed to meet my parents 2 weeks ago.
Meet the parents. You was about to meet the fuckers.
2 weeks ago, but my dad got sick, so we couldn't go over there. Unfortunately, the next free time that we all had was Thanksgiving Day. Ooh. So
hold up, stop real quick. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience that are watching the video, if you saw Tomb's face when that atomic bomb dropped, you understand. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay.
Nigga.
And I'm a little dramatic.
No, just go ahead. Go ahead.
So I have a great
cook.
I have a great relationship with my dad. He stepped up and raised me. Didn't have to. He's amazing. But me and my dad butt heads really badly, occasionally. Mm-hmm. It's gotten better over the years because I'm older and I don't live with them. Yeah. But when I tell stories about my dad, it's usually the times that we clash. Also, my dad is very conservative. And as he's gotten older, it's gotten worse.
Yep, that's usually how it works.
Yes.
And I am me. So, in general, we clash. So that's one thing. I've told James so many stories because I never thought me and James would be here. So this is a product of us being friends for 18 years before dating. He has heard so many things that if I would have known, we would have been downsides, here.
Actually.
Exactly. Who would have thought? So he's heard lots of stories. And not just about my dad, about everybody. So it's kind of been weird to introduce him to people now because he's heard too much.
And also, you know this nigga.
Right.
So the moment before he comes in the door, he's got all kinds of strategies about what he's gonna. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be like,
normally.
I'm gonna.
In this case, he had nothing. And he was the most nervous I've ever seen him in his life.
Wow.
And I was like, you got this. It'll be fine. And he's like, you don't know that.
Sound like my damn son with that. And my daughter. You don't know that.
That's how he sounded.
You should have been like, Thanos, I'm the only one that knows this.
Nah, nigga.
So I pull up to the house with him, and he always puts my seat back, but his seat was so far back, he was laying down in the back seat.
And see, I've been trying my hardest not to interrupt, but she has this. Nope, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I got you forget. I get the rap too.
Yeah, true. So his seat was all the way back.
It ain't my round yet. No, I get the rap too though.
Eyes was closed the whole way. I just let him rest. I didn't even talk to him much. Pull up, and he says, why'd you get here so fast?
I said, why were you driving so fast?
Mind you, I drove the slowest I've ever driven.
He was doing 80 and a 55.
On the highway, yeah.
So you hear, like,
hey,
pay attention. Wait. Pay attention to how these things work, right? So just analyze this last couple seconds.
Yeah, no, you can't talk
she
to
said,
her around, yo.
No, fuck around. She said, rookie mistake. She said, I was driving the slowest I've ever driven. I said, you were doing 80 and a 55. She said, on the highway. What does that change about what I said? She just confirmed. All right, go ahead.
Now, when she rebuttals that,
she can't
look crazy.
So, like, on the street, I was going really slow because I was trying to give him time. It said I was going to get there in like 16 minutes. It took like 20 because I didn't drive fast until I got on the highway. And then there was an accident. So, like, I couldn't really do anything about that. Right. So we pull up. I'm like, you good? So we're making little jokes. I'm like, what, you want me to park around the corner? So we walk over, take longer. I'm not that fast of a driver. He's faster.
He gotta go. Hey, yo.
Paul must be stopped.
So, like, I knew things would be okay. I just didn't know what version of my dad was going to show up. Is it like the friendly version? Is it the standoffish version? Are me and him going to get into something, which is then going to make it uncomfortable? I just didn't know. My dad was in a great mood. So
there you go.
It went well. It went so well that my mother texted me last night, and was like, we like James.
Cat.
Said, cool.
But,
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's more awkward.
The entire time.
I think it's more awkward because there's no other people. There's no buffer. It's just my parents and me. Like, my family is very small. Everybody has passed away, and it was already small.
Right.
So it was just us four, which could be awful.
Exactly, but Mom. He got the chill variant.
Right. It went well. My mom was never an issue.
Right.
It was literally just my dad. Like, my mom is one of those people, like James says about his mom. If she don't like you,
there's a problem.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he came, oh, James, I heard so much about you.
Listen,
she had.
I feel that.
Every story was about him, but that's another story. So, Thanksgiving was great. Like, it turned out fine. But he had that same face that he has right now.
Listen,
like, you did this to me on Thanksgiving. Like, you made me meet your parents on Thanksgiving.
He was going. First of all, he was going to have to meet him anyway. Secondly, it's. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a crazy ask.
No, wait, no. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get done. We're gonna get into it. Yeah, no, let her cook.
Let her cook.
Well, that's it for Thanksgiving. And the last thing,
you nigga,
I gotta talk about Tim on his own show.
So what else is new?
For anyone that doesn't know, December is already busy as fuck for me. It's my birthday month. It's Christmas. I have like two.
Your best friend, your goddaughter.
Yeah. My other goddaughter. I have two goddaughters. A best friend's birthday. It's Christmas. It's my birthday. And then to add insult to injury, I decided to date someone whose birthday is 5 days before mine. I'm not to share my birthday month. But, it's fine. Whatever. It's our first year. We're trying to figure it out.
Right.
So I have something planned for him. And at the time when I planned it, I didn't know what he had planned for me. I'm already freaking out because he's a planner. I've never dated somebody that was a planner. So I never worried about what I got for them because I knew it was going to be top tier. Well, James has made me see that it will not be top tier if he's planning something. Let me.
I didn't say anything.
So anyway, we're trying to figure it out. It's not that he's not easy to please. It's just that
How maintenance ass nigga.
I'm simple as fuck to please.
He is.
I don't require nothing.
That's the problem. That's it. You don't require anything. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to get.
Good point.
I don't know what to get. I don't know what to do. So I'm like, all right, I got this idea on TikTok that I can't talk about yet, but I need to give suggestions. And we're already going on a cruise. So I'm like, all right, I don't want to do too much. And most of the stuff that he needs or wants is probably pretty expensive. So I'm like, all right, what can I do? I asked a few people that are closest to him, give me some suggestions. I think I'm going to say it was 3 people I asked. And one of the people was right here. And I said, can you let me know if he needs any equipment, like audio stuff, headphones, anything? He's like, give me some time. So time went past. A lot of time went past. Mm-hmm. And I ended up messaging to him again about something. He was like, oh, shit, I never gave you the suggestions. So he sends me 2 links of headphones. And I looked at both of them. And I was like, cool.
Yo. Paul must be stopped, yo.
I just looked over and saw it.
Mind your business.
So it gives me the 2 links for the headphones. One of the headphones had a specific, like, little insignia on the ear. Kind of looked like an A. So we were making a joke. And we're like, I'm going to get this one because James is ass. So we just going to get that, and A stands for ass.
Now, pause for context. Everybody that is listening, if you were listening or watching last week when I was giving one of the stories, and Toon's like, wait, turn to the side. What's that on your head?
Yo.
I didn't know what his headphones was, and then when he did something, and I went, in my head, I went,
so, mind you, I was at James' place last Saturday. I always listen to the podcast. So I'm in the room listening to the podcast, laying down, and I hear, wait, turn to the side. And I automatically knew what was happening. And James like, what? Why? He's like, just turn to the side. I want to see your headphones. And then I get a message from Toon. Mayday, mayday. Like, immediately. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Abort.
They literally just got delivered today.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were delivered the same day.
Yikes.
So I said, it's too late. I already ordered them. I said, so what am I going to do?
Well,
they're too expensive.
Fortunately, we need them anyway.
Right. So I said, I'm just going to ask him. It only ruins one of the 5 gifts. So I'm just going to ask him if he still wants them and tell him the whole story. So it made for a good laugh. And I'm keeping the headphones.
Yeah, we need them anyway. So.
But I'm going to end this by saying, Toon failed the assignment. You see his headphones every week. You see ears. Like, you couldn't just pick that up before and after the show.
No. Listen, James keeps his room very dark. It's dark. So I can't see.
It is kind of dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I saw it when I saw it. Like, oh, shit. And just like you said, the man, he has a whole bunch of shit.
I know.
So he's not going to come to me and say, you know what I really want to.
I was like, maybe they had talked about something about enhancing some equipment. Like, I was trying. And then I'm like, the funny thing is that day when all that happened, because I had also asked Fab, that day after you said don't get the headphones, Fab messages me and said, You should ask him. And I'm like, Fab.
That's a novel idea.
Number one, I already did that. Number two, he failed. So, but you know, I figured it out. All 5 gifts have been acquired. We're good.
And it was a success because you needed the headphones anyway.
I mean,
So,
technically,
listen, we dealing with the result. Fact is, he needed the headphones anyway. So look, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, we ended up being okay. I didn't have to try to send something back. I hate returning stuff.
right.
But yeah, so that was my week.
All right. I'd like to start off our week by saying erroneous on several counts. So the problem with Chrissy is that she has that
is not how you sold and started that off at all.
No, nigga. The problem with Chrissy, matter of fact, this might be the biggest. This shows you how many problems we have. This might be the biggest problem I have with Chrissy. She has a habit of exaggerating a lot.
She admitted that she is dramatic.
No. See, what she copped to was true. It just doesn't fully express the gamut. She wildly exaggerates, like often. So, as she referenced,
she's Chat GPT.
Yo, she hallucinates. So as she referenced, this has come up with other people that she's had me meet because she will tell me about them and tell me things that have happened, and I'll be like, that's kind of crazy, but you always talk about how crazy your friends are. So I'm like, okay, why would I not believe you?
Right.
You, this amazing, smart, all that. Why would I not believe you? So what tends to happen is,
what happens?
When I'm in conference with said person, the interaction goes nothing like.
They make me look like liars. But, hold on, pause. I am the news. What I mean is, you know how you don't really highlight positive things in the news.
Right.
It's drama. It's story. It's theater.
And here's the thing.
And that's the problem.
That is true. However, when you're introducing someone to someone, it's a little better to give a little more of the whole.
I never thought you'd meet them.
No, I'm talking about even some of the conversations we had after we started. Yeah. So,
hold up. Can I? And one thing in Chrissy's defense, though,
there are several things in her defense.
She's telling you about her interaction.
Absolutely. Right. Hold up. I'm glad you said that, because that's the only reason I still listen to her about her fucking father. Because these other people, they're your friends, but you don't like you love your friends, you're around your friends, but that's a different relationship than your pops. So I'm like, all right, she got some wrong and some exaggerated about these other people, but this is her fucking father. There's no way she's gonna. Oh, come on now. So I was wrong. She still grossly exaggerated the frequency with which.
Okay.
Can I?
Because the story.
Let me come. I didn't say that the things she told me were not true, but she grossly exaggerated the frequency with which these things happen. And
but you were only there for how many hours?
Right. That's another point. So, and then she threw in stories about him meeting other people.
Oh, damn. Well.
And how he felt about this one, and how she was surprised that he did this with that one, and
how the other one he choke slammed through the door, and how the other one he threw out. And I'm like, yo.
So I'm legitimately expecting drill sergeant, because of her descriptions and her stories. Also, a point that she failed to mention, I've never done this before.
Right.
I have literally
I left that for you.
Never met a pair of parents.
Hold up.
It is always, I know, right? It has always been the case that it's gonna sound morbid, it is what it is. It's gonna sound morbid, but it is what it is. It's always been the case that one of them was dead, or both of them were dead, or they were super estranged, so there was no relationship there, or like literally every person that got that I got far enough to the point where I would meet their parents every single time, barring one. And even that person, I still never met their father. So I've never done this before.
Never met parents.
Which is crazy.
Bruh.
I can't even, I'm trying to think of one situation where it was a serious relationship.
Right.
Where I didn't meet both.
Right.
For some reason,
it's very uncommon.
Always put me in front there. For some reason.
But that's what I'm saying. It's very uncommon. Very uncommon. So like, I've never done this before. And then on top of that, there were 2 other meetings that happened within a 2-week span. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, like she did mention, it was fucking Thanksgiving. And she says to me after I say yes, hey, I want some Thanksgiving crab cake. So now, not only do I have to meet her parents on Thanksgiving, I also have to cook for them.
But hold up. I didn't even know there was such a thing as Thanksgiving.
There's not a such thing.
But how come nobody told me about Thanksgiving crab cakes?
I know, right?
Because it's not a thing.
It is.
It just can happen.
Pause real quick.
The Pilgrims ate crab cakes on the first Thanksgiving.
I doubt it. I don't really want no parts of what they ate on the first.
Ain't no bullshit.
The reason behind the crab cakes. Yes, I wanted crab cakes.
But you said you wanted Thanksgiving crab cakes.
My mother's favorite thing is crab cakes. And I know I like James crab cakes.
Shut up, April.
I knew my mother would. So I was like, oh, she'll enjoy this. This will be nice.
And then here's the thing. So she added that in to this conversation to express to y'all that this was a way of her trying to like grease the situation.
Grease the wheels, right.
I'm not worried about her mother. Her father don't even like crab cakes like that. I'm not worried about her mother. Her mother's the sweetest person in the fucking world. Like, I'm not concerned about her mother.
You thought you were going to be sitting there at the table, and he was going to be asking you about shit to try to know facts. And it was all of your answers were going to be wrong to him.
All of my answers would have had to have been altered.
Right.
That's the other part.
Oh, right.
Keep Thanksgiving going.
Bruh. We have a very particularly interesting story.
That we can't tell everybody.
Especially not her 70-year-old father.
Yeah. That's facts. It's facts.
So,
made me think about how we basically rehearsed it.
Bruh.
Like, what are we going to say? What parts can we say? What parts can we not say?
It ended up not being an issue.
Right.
But it was fine. It ended up being fine. But the only thing I'm disputing is the slight indication that my behavior leading up was not warranted. Like, nigga, no. That shit was absolutely warranted. So, he closed his eyes. I drive super slow. I was sleepy. We were in the bed all fucking day. And he didn't drive super slow. On the way to the highway, she didn't know where she was fucking going. So, of course, she's driving slower.
You know where her parents live.
No. She didn't know how to get to the highway. So, I was directing her there. So, I had to have had my eyes open in order to direct her. 2, when she got on the highway, she was doing 80 and a 55. When she got off of the highway, there was an accident. Of course, she wasn't driving. She couldn't possibly have driven. So, like, This is what I mean. This is the perfect. I'm glad she said the things that she said because it's the perfect example of her exaggerating shit. Like, yes, absolutely. When you got off the highway, you were driving slow because there was a fucking backup because somebody rear-ended the fuck out of somebody. Like, yes, there's context there. But anyway,
I said
that at the end, like you threw that in as the cliff note. That was a little asterisk down the bottom. But yeah, no, it ended up fine. Everything was fine.
Yeah, see, you thought you was gonna go in there and it was gonna be like some episode of Martin and shit. No,
I mean, it could have been. Again,
actually some crazy stuff.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like the amount of questions. Here's the sheer amount of questions that he could have asked me that would have had to lead to me having to think more before I open my mouth. Staggering. Yeah. Staggering. It could have been. It could have gone hard.
See, I don't ever recall me being nervous to meet people's father, but I do recall fucking up. And this was not the initial meeting. This was an incident that took place afterwards. Being on her porch, Dennis comes up there. He starts talking about some shit that we had just did.
Oh, God.
Did not realize her father was in the living room and that window was right there. He came to the door. Get the hell off my porch.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But I've never. But other that was crazy. But other than that, I don't ever recall being super nervous. I was gonna go up there and let the chips fall away.
No, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It wasn't father. It was specifically the character that Chrissy created.
Right.
in my story.
Right.
Because
I don't.
I'm laughing at you right now.
Oh, thanks.
Behind laughing at the Mayday, man.
All right, moving on. I often bring up on here whenever my goddaughter says something outrageous, especially not compared, as it relates to money, because I maintain that kids don't understand the value of money.
My daughter did.
But it works the other way too. It works both ways. It's not just that they think a lot of money is easy to come by.
Right.
It's also the other way around. I text her and I'm like, because her younger brother is also my godchild. So I text her, I'm like, what does your brother want for his birthday? His birthday is the 2nd. So what does your brother want for his birthday? She's like, I don't know, but I'll try to figure out. I said, all right, cool. She gets back to me. Mind you, I got her a phone for her birthday. He's aware that I got her a phone for her birthday. She texts me back with a picture. No, she says he wants a controller. I said, a controller? Yeah. I said, okay, what kind of controller? Because PS5 controllers, $100+.
They're expensive, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, right. PS4 controller. PS4 controller. Nothing specific. No, not that I know of. He just said a controller for PS4. I said, okay.
Don't smell right.
I said, okay. Right. No. She then sends me a picture that he gave to her. And I found this exact controller, $23. Sir, you don't quite understand how this works.
Yes, he does.
So I'm going to help you out. No, I'm going to help him out. I got him something else too, because this is outrageous. Like, I don't want to spend money, but, sir,
leave him alone.
You can do better than I'm going to get you the controller. I'm going to get you what you wanted because you asked for that, but no concept of energy. That shit is probably the most important thing in the world to him right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's going to grow up to be a man who's very low maintenance.
No, not
don't take much to please him.
Again, I like my theory better. It's just the thing that's the most important thing in the world to him. The next time, it might be the actual PS5. Like, at the end of the moment, this controller is the most important thing in the world to him. That's what he wants. That's what his parents probably won't get him.
Which is crazy, but okay.
I mean, but they might have a reason.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
So, like, I don't know. I haven't talked to them. I'm not going to talk to them because that's not their business.
Right.
So yeah, I got him that, and I got him like a bunch of accessories that go with it and that go with the PS4 and all that other type of stuff. So
Listen,
I don't probably end up giving him a gift card. Listen, I ain't mad about it.
You said like
I ain't mad about it. And the funny thing is, like, the controller that he sent, the picture that he sent me, no description. Like, he sent me literally a picture of the picture.
Right, but
none of the writing.
Right.
So it was very hard to find.
Right.
Happenstance, I opened Amazon and it happened to be like the first thing, the first picture. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is the exact controller that he wants. Okay, all right, cool. I'll get that. Vacation. What is it? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Hold up.
So bruh.
No, yeah, for me it's 2 weeks.
Yes, I know that you also
gone on the 7th.
I know that you also, yeah. Yes, I get it.
On the 7th, right there.
Yes, I understand. I'm aware.
I'm going to Panama.
Yes, I know.
Oh man.
I know. So that's coming up. And I talked about before I say what I was about to say about vacations, I talked last week about the validation I've been receiving about my decision to not to stop planning these goddamn group trips. And last week I mentioned this goddamn Friendsgiving. They got it together.
Barely
by the skin of their fucking teeth.
Early,
like 2 days ago, but they got it together. They got it together, and we're still doing it today.
That needed to happen, bro. Because
absolutely,
the reality is there's got to be consequences. They got to feel what it's like to do that.
You know it's bad when I give up. And I get
what up, McKenna?
McKenna
is you're in Oregon right now, aren't you? She's in Oregon. Crazy.
But and here's the thing. I absolutely contributed to planning something because that was never the issue.
Right.
The issue was not me not helping.
Right.
I just wasn't about to do the whole thing.
No. Hold on. Let me amend that for you. Fuck helping. You've done enough.
Oh, she's still driving.
Done enough.
No, that's fair.
Oh, okay.
I've done more than enough. So moving on to the thing I was about to say, I've gotten more validation for my decision. We were talking to Dawn, and I told her that I had already booked another trip for me and Chrissy. Just me and Chrissy. And she didn't give me pushback this time.
Well, no.
She was the last holdout. Oh. She was the last person that kept being like, no, you going blah blah. And I kept telling her, no, I'm not. And this time she did not give me pushback. She didn't. Why? She gets it now. She finally gets it. So
maybe.
No, listen, it don't matter. No, listen.
I don't
listen, here's the thing. I don't care about going backwards. Well, I've achieved my goal. However you feel from this point forward, I ain't got to do with that.
I'm just saying it might be a little different because him and this girl, of course.
No, specifically, that's what it's going to be. Unless somebody else plans a group trip. Right. That's what the fuck it's gonna be. Right. Work stuff. White family dynamics. Now, I have a working theory, but I don't understand American white family dynamics. I've already brought up on the show.
UK white family, like
I don't care enough about because
I
don't interact with them. Yeah, no, I don't interact with them. No,
I know about the other guys.
No. I don't care about them. I don't interact with them enough to have a reason. But specifically white American family dynamics, I've already brought up on the show, and we've talked about the whole thing of how most Black people say cousin, and a lot of white people say aunt or uncle's daughter or son. And I appreciate the people that were listening who understood that this wasn't a slight and confirmed that they had similar experience with that particular situation. The second one, though, baffles me even more. Why do y'all call your parents by their first names?
Excuse you. I'm sure that is something that does happen quite frequently in American white cultures, but my former stepsister, that's all that family do. She was literally calling her grandmother.
I'm glad you said that. Wait. I'm glad you said that. Wait. No, listen. I'm glad you said that. There are only a few reasons I've ever seen Black people do this. Either there is an estranged relationship. They might be referring to them almost like in the third person.
True.
An example of that is when we were on here a little while back, and Tim and I were warning anybody that there are certain people that they do not and will not mess with on Facebook. That's still the case. Yeah. But that happened then.
It's still true.
That happened then. Still true. And the third is
this goes say not in my family.
Okay, cool.
And McKenna said, I only do that.
So, and the third being generally, they're joking. They're playing around.
Yeah, they're playing around, right.
But I've heard so many times white people that I've been in conversation with do it. And again, it's the same thing with the cousin thing, both on TV and in movies and in person in real life. I've seen.
For those of you that didn't listen to that episode, when we refer to the cousin part, this is typically in Black families. If the cousin is old enough to be your parent or grandparent, so in some cases, right?
Right.
We didn't call them by their first name. We called them cousin such and such.
Facts.
Because that was a sign of respect of the fact that, yeah, y'all cousins, but this person is way older than you, right?
Right. The most confusing, personally, of this type of thing has been at work. I've told y'all how much nepotism runs through the veins in my company that I work for. Several of the Black people, when referring to coworkers who happen to be responsible for their birth, still say a version of mom or dad.
Really?
Yes. Okay. Not my white coworkers. I've seen one or two of them use some variation of mom or dad, but that's not the norm. My boss's mother works for the company.
They call them by their name.
That is the absolute most confusing of them all, because we have another coworker with the same first name.
Interesting.
So I'm always assuming that she's talking about the other coworker because I know y'all relationship.
Right.
This happened again yesterday. The only reason I wasn't confused this time was because she said that the person that she was referring to told her on Thursday, and obviously we didn't work Thursday, Thanksgiving. Okay, you would be with your mother for you to say that she told you. Okay, you must be talking about your mother. Let me go take care. But otherwise, I would have actually been on my way to a different person's desk, because that is so foreign. Even though I've been in the company so long. Matter of fact, let's cut that to get to this next part. I want to do something that I don't often do.
What's that?
In honor of what we've come to accept as the meaning of the past holiday, I got to give thanks for one of my coworkers. I have no idea how long she's... Listen, I have no idea how long she's been with the company. She was already working in the downtown office when I went down there 15 plus years ago. Right. I think she's the only non-maintenance employee downtown that works and does not have a computer. She's always been nice. She's never had a computer, so she's never had to like bother me work-wise. The only time she's really ever asked me for anything is if she needs something moved, which is absolutely fine. I ain't got no problem with that. She does small talk, but let me be clear about that. As much as I hate small talk, I know it's necessary. That's not, you don't misconstrue the point that I'm making. Me not liking something doesn't mean I don't understand why it exists. So I know it's necessary. But
sometimes for me, that's one.
Yeah, sometimes for you they're the same thing. Yeah, I know. But I understand it's necessary, so I appreciate when people do it in a way that comes off as genuine,
when they personable.
They perfect, bruh. And not just some shit you're saying to whoever would have been there in the moment that the silence got too much for you.
They know how to curate the
bruh. Exactly.
Me.
Right.
Yeah.
That part. So recently, during one of these sessions of small talk, we were on the elevator.
That sounds like the name of a podcast, by the way.
Sessions of small talk.
Small talk.
She revealed something that in the back of my head I knew, but I didn't specifically ever put a finger on it.
Okay.
But I definitely pride myself in it. She said to me,
"Put a finger on it." Pride. Phrasing. Go ahead.
She said to me, "You know what, James? I just realized I don't really know anything about you."
But surely through all of the small talk, she's learned a lot.
Nigga. That is one of the best things a coworker could have possibly ever said to me.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Yeah.
Because I know I tend to preach the idea that work is a separate thing from your private life. But I also know that I get on here to talk about my friends, and a good portion of them
work at that job.
Yep. Yeah. So trust and believe the people listening. They are outliers. They are the anomalies. They are
I'm saying that to people too.
Yeah, like
don't think this happens everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You hear me talk about my man Antonio, my man CJ. These are people that I met from work, but these are my guys.
Mm-hmm.
That is an anomaly. That's not something that happens everywhere.
No, not at all. The other reason that this was so refreshing is because I have coworkers who are effectively the exact opposite of her. I don't have conversations with them. I don't particularly like them. Yet they have spent way too much time and energy attempting to be in my fucking business. The most egregious example.
You are ass.
No, nigga, listen. The most egregious example was one lady who asked Debbie if her and I were fucking.
What?
Now,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, of all the inappropriate shit a motherfucker can ask at a workplace, I've never heard that before. I've never, and I worked a lot of jobs. James ain't worked a lot of jobs. I worked a lot of jobs. I have never heard that before.
Yeah. So,
no.
First of all,
no.
She knows that had she asked me that, I would have cussed her the fuck out.
Bruh.
Second, Debbie is 60 years old. Now, that coworker asked this like 4 years ago, but I've known Debbie since I was 16.
She thought she was your sugar mama.
Yeah. And lastly, and most importantly, it's none of your fucking business,
bro. The level
why we are as close as we are.
That shit is so inappropriate, yo. Like,
nigga,
bro.
So what I've deduced is, these people, because again, that's the most egregious. But there have been other,
very egregious.
There have been other much lower intensity versions of this.
Well, that's so egregious. I'm about to look up in the penal code to see if it's illegal. That shit.
But here's the thing. There's several people throughout the company who see me interact with other people, and they have a problem because I don't interact with them
like that. I've been through that type of shit before too. I know what you're talking about.
It baffles me. I cannot relate. I have been in a situation maybe once or twice in my life where somebody that I wanted to like me didn't like me, but it was never because of their relationship with another person.
Yeah.
And once I realized that we weren't on the same wavelength, I moved the fuck on because I don't like people in the first place. Right. I don't like people in the first place. So, like, you happen to be among a privileged few and you don't want that privilege. Cool. Yeah. No harm, no foul. But yeah. So shout out to that coworker, because again, I talked to her. I actually like her. She cool people. She has never, ever, would never. The fact that she says, I don't know anything about you, the perfect.
That is
somebody.
Should have gave her one fact just because she didn't.
Here's the thing.
No
That's
shit.
I was
No
about
shit.
to say. No, I was about to say that actually no, it did happen. I'll say that. I'll say this. That kind of made me want to be like, it does not have to stay that way.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna just go out of my way, but
yeah, I know what you're saying.
She and soon after, because holiday time, soon after she asked me if I had any children, and I was like, no, I don't have any children. She said, okay, now I know one thing. I said, yes, you do.
Oh,
So
yes, you do.
I mean, and this last thing,
napalm right there, because she minds her fucking business,
bruh.
and she's about her business. That's it. Listen,
Facts.
you don't need to know what's that shit Jet Li said at the end of the one. You don't need to know. No, I don't need to know you. I will be the one. Like, fuck out of here.
Not important. Not important. Last thing, I spoke about this service that we use that sends out test emails in an attempt to teach users about the dangers and signs of phishing. One thing I didn't know is that One thing I didn't know is that it monitors the emails that person sends and receives in order to shape what fake emails it sends. So somebody got an email from them and they opened it and they clicked the link. They didn't tell us about it, but I get the report.
Of course you do.
So in the dashboard for the service, I can see everything about the test. I can see who it sent it to, what message they were sent, who opened it, who clicked on the link.
Yikes.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, I can see everything about the fucking test. So I looked and saw that we had 2 clickers. One of them was somebody I expected it to be, but this one was a new one, this person. And I'm like, okay, let me see what email they sent her. Because why would you click the link inside of the email? I understand opening the email out of curiosity. Why the fuck would you click the link? So I look at the email and it was an email about taxes. And this is how I found out that the thing reviews your email activity, because she is like one of our CPAs or something like that. So boom, okay. So it would make sense for the fake email to send her a tax email. Okay, that makes sense. So I mentioned it to my boss, and she was already standing up. So she was like, all right, I'll go tell her. Because this isn't a you're in trouble type thing. This is just literally warning you, like, hey, be more careful with this particular thing. So my boss goes to speak to her. She comes back. She said to my boss that she thought the email might have been from the IRS. And that's why she clicked the link. So now it's time for another teachable moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time of the year. Listen to me clearly, everyone. When you get an email from someone who you don't normally get email from, you need to look at the email address it's coming from. The vast amount of professional emails from companies or institutions will be simple to spot. They will be some combination of a person's name and or initials, and it will end with @ insert company's website.
That's it.
That is going to be the formula 9 times out of 10. Very, very, very rarely will it ever be from a Gmail, iOS, AOL, like it won't be these things.
Bro, you may need to simple that down, because
I will.
A lot of what you just saying there, the people that need it are usually old.
Don't really,
and they don't.
Also,
really
if you see a bunch of random letters or numbers, it's not real
at all.
It's not real. I promise you. It don't matter how much Ed McMahon said you were about to win. It's not real. I promise you, it's not real. It's not real. So given that,
that's the shit,
right. So given that, an email from the IRS would end with at irs.gov.
That's it.
However,
And they both say, hey, he did.
However, the IRS will never send you an email.
Never.
They don't do that.
No.
Taken directly from their website. Quote, the IRS doesn't initiate contact with taxpayers by email, text messages, or social media channels to request personal information or financial information.
No.
This includes requests for PIN numbers, passwords, or similar access information for credit cards, banks, or other financial accounts. They have similar declarations throughout their website.
Yeah.
Throughout their website.
Mostly because they already know your shit. Go ahead.
I mean, that's a fact. So please be smart this season.
Yes.
People. Please.
They out to
We
get
got the holiday season right now, and next coming up is tax season. Please.
And the scammers are out and about.
They out here.
They out here, man. And I just had a homeboy of mine that got jammed up with a scammer and shit. But a lot of that, of course, is because a lot of y'all got to stop doing this. You older folks got to stop doing this. Y'all be checking out of society. Basically, you got caught up in these little bubbles, and you don't know when shit change. You don't know when shit is new or how you need to adapt. You don't, because you checked out. And I didn't know that's what that was until I got of an age to have friends that was around the age. And unlike me, they checked out. They don't keep up with none of that new shit. I'm like, yo, you better stay engaged. Motherfuckers gonna get you.
If you plan on continuing to use this, you need to be up on it.
Right.
If you want to divorce yourself from it, cool.
Fine.
But as long as you're going to continue engaging with it, you got to be up on it. All right, everybody, it's that time.
Oh, shit.
It's time for M.I. the asshole.
Yes.
Okay, shut up.
Oh, you ain't tell us.
Am I the asshole? Am I an asshole for telling my sister she has more than enough children?
I'm not usually on the show when y'all do this. This is crazy.
I know.
Bro. The fuck? All right. My sister, 32-year-old female. Oh no, she is the 32-year-old female.
Whoa. What?
Wait, no, stop. She is the 32-year-old female. Her sister is 36.
Okay.
Already has 6 kids with her husband, 40-year-old male, which is way more than they can comfortably provide for, given what I know about their financial troubles, and also way more than both of them can handle, since it came to a point where my older niece, 15, is treated as an unpaid babysitter by her parents and constantly expected to help with her younger siblings. Right. My sister recently went through a miscarriage on her 7th pregnancy, and I understand this can be a painful experience, but as I was talking about this with her, I told her at least she has other 6 children in her life already, and that maybe that's enough. She got very offended by my comment and told me I was being very insensitive and that her family choices have nothing to do with me. Actually, it has, because I had to loan her and her husband money in more than one occasion so they could support the household, but I didn't tell her that as to not make things worse. Anyway, am I really an asshole here? Edit. To be clear, my sister wasn't 7 months along when she had the miscarriage. She was because people misread what she said apparently. My sister was not 7 months along when she had the miscarriage. She was in the early stages of her 7th pregnancy. It's something many people seem to have misinterpreted from my post. All right, before we even rule of thumb. When something terrible happens to somebody, it's generally not a good idea. You might want to think twice if your sentence is going to be something similar to, I understand this can be a painful experience, but. No, you don't. You don't, especially when you haven't experienced it.
To answer the question directly, yes. You are an asshole. You're not even just an asshole. You're like the surrounding cheeks, all the way up to the hips, and down to where the start of the back of the thigh is. That's you, and you got hair. And you got hair on.
Yeah. So you're a hairy asshole.
You're a hairy asshole. Like you're just an ass. Period. Like Why would you say that,
bro?
You can know something and just not say it.
Because here's the thing.
What is wrong with people?
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me play devil's advocate because I'm searching for somebody that's the contrarian. But before I find them, let me play devil's advocate and say it's not even devil's advocate because the shit you did was terrible. It's more like truths exist. They do. However, a big part of context and nuance is timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was not the time for you to say anything. As a matter of fact, there may have never been a time.
Can we think of a time? Because I don't
for you to say anything.
That's crazy.
Maybe I get that. That's the blood that you have the connection. If you felt the overwhelming burden of expressing this obvious thing to your sister, maybe if you were going to do it and you just had to, maybe don't talk to the person that's actually had the miscarriage.
Say it to somebody else.
Say it to the husband, maybe.
My
Say
thing
it
is,
to the parents, maybe. Again, if you absolutely have to.
But my point is, you never have to. See,
you never have. No.
A lot of these people, man, they have impulse control issues. And this is their problem. This is their problem. Now, if there's a way to fix that through therapy or whatever, you should engage in that. Stop making your problems somebody else's problem. There's something, the very fact that she felt I have to say it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Watch this. I'm thinking something fucked up right now. I ain't say it because I don't have to say it.
Yo, somebody effectively summed that up. You're the asshole because you're right. She does have too many kids, but quote, don't be sad you had other kids. It's a shitty thing to say to someone who just had, bro. Again, crazy, bro. The truth can exist,
right,
but not be your place
at all.
Bro, do you know how many times I see shit up and down my goddamn timeline
nigga
that I scroll by?
Nigga, one of Chrissy's friends. I be seeing shit on the timeline, and I'd be like, nope.
Because what do we always say here? You can
always shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
You can always. You always have that right. All right. Not the asshole. I would be very low contact with somebody like this, sister or not. I feel like you misunderstood the assignment. Everything you said was right, except the not the asshole part. And those can exist together.
Right.
I would be very low contact with somebody like that. Probably true. Yeah. If you just gonna keep willy-nilly having kids and can't afford them, and I'd probably be low contact with you. Yeah, I'd probably be low contact with you. I would never say to you, well, at least you got 6 other ones.
Oh my bro, that shit is wild.
Like, yeah. I don't care.
That's
how
nasty
many
work.
You have.
That's nasty work right there.
Let's see. Work. Not the asshole. 6 of anything is certainly plenty at this point. It's a person's selfish hoarding behavior. Is there a mental point? You're missing the point.
Yeah, they're missing the point.
Here's somebody who. Oh, damn, never mind.
They didn't.
It seems like everybody's missing the point.
They avoided it on purpose. Like, nope.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not getting that.
Don't talk about the fact that how many kids this person has.
Right. That's not really the issue. Not the asshole. She's being overly sensitive. 6 children is a lot and a huge carbon footprint. They will all leave behind. Shaking my head. Will people just why?
All right. So I need this motherfucker here to take several seats with the whole carbon footprint shit. Take several seats. Keep whatever your political agenda is with the climate and this, that, and third. That had nothing to do with this right here. Not this. Go away with that. Y'all always trying to interject that shit and stuff that it has absolutely zero context to do with. Chill the fuck out. The average person does not have kids, does or does not have kids based off a carbon footprint. You are a weirdo. You're a weirdo.
Not the asshole. Your sister and her kids are not your responsibility. Your daughter should not be babysitting for free, and they're not entitled to your handouts. If you don't want to help your sister anymore, then don't. Stop giving her money and letting her take advantage of you and your family. She will bitch and moan, but in the end, it's her problem, and there are resources for aid. See, I feel like there are some people that are saying not the asshole. They're just off. They're just off. Right. I feel like some of them, they're just barely missing the point.
Yeah.
Like you're just barely missing the point. Everything you said is true, except for the not the asshole part.
She's still an asshole, and also, when it's not her responsibility.
No,
so obviously it's not your place. It's also not your place to say something. See, people want to have it both ways, right? They want to interject their little bullshit into stuff, at the same time saying, "I ain't got nothing to do with it."
I'm just saying,
shut the fuck up.
Right? You're the ass. You're 100% the asshole. I mean, I'm sorry, you're 100% not the asshole. I think she should consider your advice. Having more and more children just inflicts more suffering because there will be too many children to provide for, and there could be neglect towards the other children. Your niece shouldn't have to put up with being almost another parent towards the siblings. Just as a favor for her parents, I get that it's their choice, but they should definitely consider the harm they may end up causing. 2 children can be difficult to raise and care for. For some families, 6 is ridiculously hard. I would imagine if they are in financial troubles, then having more and more children is just going to end up again another person who you're missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
The statements you are making are accurate, but never mind. On to the next one. Last one. Am I an asshole for asking my sister's husband not to come to her house while I'm visiting?
Wait a minute. Why is that in quotations?
Because it's in quotations.
Oh, damn.
I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but it's in quotations. So yeah.
So wait a minute. So start it over.
Why? I'm not an asshole for asking my sister's husband not to come to her house while I'm visiting. My sister has what I would class as an on paper marriage. Her husband, Alex, doesn't even live on the same continent as us, and they have almost zero contact outside of the 1 to 2 visits he forces on her yearly. I absolutely have. That's funny, and a story that I can't tell on the podcast. Outside of the 1 to 2 visits he forces on her yearly, so he can lord the fact that he's still her husband over her. We live in different cities, so I'm visiting her for 2 weeks. Everything was planned, and I booked the time off work when she decided to let me know that Alex had texted her to tell her he would be here during my visit. I didn't want to waste my annual leave being around him, and I knew I would only say something to him that would make my sister's situation worse. So I asked her to ask him not to come or to at least reschedule to after my visit. She refused to because, quote, we know how he is. So she didn't think he would be willing to move his visit even if she asked. I decided to text him myself. I decided to text him myself to ask him not to come while I was there, since she was too chicken to do it.
No,
he left me on. Wait. He left me on red, but he did tell my sister he may not be here when he originally promised. So I thought he was willing to compromise. Boy, was I wrong. He showed up a few days ago and has been nothing but a sarcastic nuisance since arriving. He let my sister know I had tried to stop him from coming home to his house, which is a lie because this isn't his bloody home. I've had so many arguments with him. That I've lost count, and my poor sister is so upset and stressed out over this, which almost makes me wish I hadn't said anything. Am I the asshole?
That's the point.
That is the whole point.
That's the whole point. Because you already knew, because you said at the beginning that the sister was like, no, because that's how he is. So you already knew going in that you shouldn't have said anything, because I don't know what the situation is.
Out of her way to say something to this nigga.
Right. Like maybe he's abusive. Like you don't even know the whole scope of it. But she said something for a reason and you went against it. Even if you thought it was for the greater good, you should have probably just exited.
Bruh.
What I don't understand about people is that right there. Like literally, we went through at the very least 2 of these, where the end result was ass because they just couldn't shut the fuck up.
Bruh.
Yes.
Yo, somebody said, quote, I didn't want to do anything to make my sister's situation worse. Also, quote, so then I did something to make my sister's situation worse.
Right. Like you knew from the beginning you shouldn't have done it.
So
you didn't even need to write in because you already knew.
Well, that's the thing. Because sometimes when I hear some of these, that's what it sounds like to me. That they know their ass just from their heading. Sometimes it's like, you ass, you know your ass, but then they go into the story and it's like then they try to act all shocked and dismayed at people saying that they're the asshole.
Yeah. You're not the asshole. This is vacation time you planned with your sister and made it clear you didn't want him to be there. He ruined your vacation and she let him. They're both assholes. Might as well not visit her anymore until she gets smart and leaves him.
That's ridiculous, especially if he's not around for most of the time. Like, what? He's not around. Didn't she say they only see him like twice a year?
Bruh.
It's like the point is that annoying fly that you can never get to because they just be missing that shit.
Yo, somebody responded to them and said, I'm coming to visit your husband. Get the fuck out of your house. I'm not coming to visit your husband. Get the fuck out of your house. Okay, so somebody says you're not his sibling, but if you were, I don't only visit twice a year. I'm not a narcissist that decides I'm going to come visit when I know my husband's sibling is coming too, when I can literally pick any 2 times of the year, but choosing now when I know my in-law has already taken the time off and gotten a flight. It's my husband's house, not mine. My husband is... You don't know that. You don't know any of that information. We were not given that information.
My thing is,
we were given the information, bro. We were given the information.
Contacting him.
No, we were given the information that he comes 2 times a year. Not why.
Raising.
Well,
because it might be true.
Probably true too. So, but we don't know why he doesn't visit any other time. It just says he doesn't visit any other time.
Yeah,
so
that shit is crazy, bro.
He could be the worst person in the world. But based on what we know, we don't know that.
And you didn't tell us the reason why he only visits twice a year.
Bruh.
Does he work somewhere?
Not the asshole. Don't know why everyone on here worships the asshole husband so much.
No, it's not.
Nobody's
even
worshiping the
asshole husband.
It's like Chrissy said, the point is a fly, and it's I'll get you yet. Motherfucker trying to get it with chopsticks and shit.
Too.
Yo, unpopular opinion, but not the asshole. Who wants to visit their siblings and watch them be abused? But next time, just cancel on her. She won't do anything about it until she wants to. Unfortunately, she is delusional. No!
Why are we?
Unfortunately, she is delusional, and as long as you keep pushing, you're going to hurt yourself more. The best thing to do is put distance between you and her relationship. If she complains to you about it, tell her you don't want to talk about it. If she gets mad at you for this, remind her that she's the one who chooses to stay, knowing this will never change. Either she shuts up and accepts it or moves on. There's no middle ground for the discussion of the situation.
Even if, because I said he might be abusive.
That's possible.
Even if he is abusive, you still were the asshole. Because now you've created further problems for your sister.
The direct response to this comment is, so the alternative is to go behind your siblings' back and tip off their abuser? In this whole post, what one good did OP achieve?
Not any. Nothing.
Not the asshole. You deserve to enjoy your time off with your sister, and you said something about it, all on him for being a jerk.
She deserves. See, can we... First of all, y'all gonna stop that shit. Y'all gonna stop all this person deserves based off what? She didn't give you any fucking information other than the shit that she gave you.
Bruh.
But how does she deserve it?
A whole different story.
Yeah.
A boundary being crossed is not no longer a boundary being crossed simply because you asked.
Right.
You have to receive the yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
You asked, you got to know you did it anyway, so you still crossed the boundary.
What the fuck are we like? What is going on here?
You know what an alternative could have been?
What's that?
Maybe
come see me.
To your sister. You talk to your sister, and she says he's still coming. You don't want to mess up your vacation. You want to see your sister. Go get a hotel somewhere,
bro.
Hang out with your sister outside of the house.
Have your sister come to the hotel.
Exactly.
Right. If the issue is you don't want to see him, then
you
don't
change
see
your
him.
scenario. You
Yeah.
don't change her scenario.
Your sister is clearly okay with you visiting, so she's clearly okay with spending time with you.
Right. You just don't want to be around him.
Bruh.
So you exit yourself. You do not make it more difficult for her.
You still have your vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Still enjoy your vacation.
And I mean, I'm speaking for myself. You probably would enjoy it more because you got your own spot right there. You
right.
No
one got to impose.
I'd rather I remember I had a performance in Virginia, and the promoter wanted me and my wife to stay at his crib. I was like, no, we will be getting a hotel from. Right? Not be staying at your crib. He had a nice house, nice big ass house. And all that. His family was cool. We ate dinner over there and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we will be having our own hotel room.
Facts. If I understand this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Ruth, because I thought about this too. What it seems like the gist of what she's saying is, if it is an abusive situation, it is definitely possible that the sister's presence will stave that.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
So I guess the moral. Yes. Okay. Yes. So the moral there being, if you are actually that worried and abuse is indeed what is happening, wouldn't it be best for you to be there while he's there?
Yeah, exactly. Because you care about your sister and you want to go smooth. Right.
Like you can't.
So you don't call him and then ask him this abusive. This abusive, because we don't know this. Right. This abusive asshole monster. You don't go and then tell him, hey, don't bring your ass here because I'm here. That's not going to help the situation at all. Right.
Yeah. Like I just don't. I don't.
And maybe like y'all were saying, for future reference, why don't she just come visit you?
Yeah.
So we avoid this altogether.
Bruh. Like regardless, it would have even if let's say she don't have the money, use the money that you spent to get you down there.
Right.
Like have her come to you because like
have her come to you, right?
I just my head hurts. My head hurts because this is
you know what?
The problem is rocket science.
Yo, exactly. It's simple. It's simple shit. Like
what the hell?
But see, your problem right now is not just her. Your problem is these commentators.
Yes.
That's what it is, bro. That's why your head hurts.
Make it worse.
Nigga, like what are you talking about? Like again. So for context, what I've been doing with the Am I the Assholes is I pick one that has already had unanimous, not unanimous, but an overall answer. Mm-hmm. And after I read them, I look for the dissenting opinion.
Right.
The vast majority of people when these are said, you're the asshole. Of course. Yeah, the vast majority. Like, you're the asshole. It's her personal life. You don't have the right to tell him anything, especially when she is so vulnerable. I want to scream, what an idiot to you. Couldn't you have thought about your sister and shut up? If you wanted to meet your sister, then adjust your life. Don't stress her. I hope he isn't abusive, but this was a really selfish move. Exactly.
It was selfish.
Absolutely.
Trust me, Nick.
Yeah.
If I lived super, super far from my sister, I knew or found out somehow that the nigga was abusive, I'm coming there to see it. I want him to come over.
Right.
Please come.
Right.
I want to see that energy when I'm there. Please come over.
You're the asshole. You should have taken your sister's lead. It's her situation. You asked. She said no. Your choice was to go or not to go. How many extra difficulties have you created now? Your opinion of her marriage, husband dynamic is not relevant. She lives it. She leads the choices.
That's it. That's a great. That last one was a bar.
Bruh.
She lives it, so she leads the choices.
I mean, you are 100% the asshole. Who are you to contact her husband and make such a request? No matter their marriage situation, your sister is a big girl and gets to live if she pleases. You can always pack up and leave.
You could also not go there.
You could just not go.
Like was offered before. She could have her come to you, or you could go there and get a hotel room.
Right.
Like
and you know, Some of these things tend to be touchy situations.
Yeah, complicated.
Both of these happen to be, because if indeed she is being abused, both OPs had partial righteous intent.
Yeah.
But they just didn't handle it right.
It was the execution.
The execution, I got to give you an F for that.
They didn't stick the landing.
No, not at all. Stumbling, fumbling, bumbling all over. Like, the fuck is you talking about? Like, I always say, if you want something from someone, it behooves you to meet them where they are.
Agreed. That's really the same when it comes to convincing someone of something that they need or of a truth. Like you have to first see where that person is and their level of intellect, part of their life, their disposition. And you got to kind of actually know what it takes to convince them to do what you're trying to get them to do.
Yeah.
It ain't all just about you and your desire to get them to agree with you on some shit. Like,
no,
it's not.
But yeah, that's been the most recent episode of Black Culture Geeks. There's one more episode left before we go on break.
One more.
Back at the top of the year.
A very special Christmas episode of Black Culture Geeks.
We're doing that too. One heard it through the grapevine.
See, it's holiday programming. The best of holiday programming.
Sure. Let's go with that.
So we want to thank you guys once again for showing up for another rousing edition of the Black Culture Geeks podcast. Once again, you guys coming through actually helps the show. It adds to the content. We appreciate y'all every week.
Absolutely.
One more time, condolences to my man Austin Anderson's family.
Absolutely.
Condolences to the Grand Unified community, because this hasn't happened a whole lot of times to our community. So it's jarring. It's jarring. But I hope that in these 3 hours here, we help take your mind off of it, even if it's just a bit, without foolishness. Also, do not forget to go check out my man Super Side Guys Metas and Meetings podcast.
Absolutely.
Do not forget that Chrissy has her Heard It Through the Grapevine podcast that is rocking and rolling at the moment. You know what I'm saying? We want to also shout out my man Adequate. I start shouting him out every week. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's gone for now doesn't mean he'll be gone forever. And he will be back. Also, do not forget, we got a Kickstarter. Just the Comments is Kickstarter going on right now for issue 2, Shattered Alliance.
Speaking of Eddie, he made a post about how important radical acceptance is to the grieving and healing process.
That's growth.
Yeah, nigga.
That's 100% growth. So yeah, my man might be back sooner than we realize, or at the very least at the top of the new year. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's possible.
But yeah, don't forget to go. I put the link into the chat. If you have not and intend to support the Kickstarter,
absolutely.
And let me see. I think that's it.
There's always music.
Oh, there's always music. And speaking of that, we had an issue.
Oh, right.
An issue with the Insurrection album. One song, my song. Remember I came on here and talked about how Finland was going crazy,
and we made all these jokes about
all these
streaming farms and all this other shit.
Turned out to be just nothing that we paid for. We didn't know anything to have anything to do with it. So I had to pretty much delete the album, which sucks, right? And I got to put it back up after a couple of days. Because it takes a couple of days for it to register that it's gone. So I put it up after a couple of days. So if you guys be so kind when I do put it up, go up there and run them views up. You know what I'm saying? Go up there, run them plays up or whatever. Because we really appreciate that. But all those podcast links somewhere. Chrissy usually does hers on Facebook, right? How many of them?
YouTube, Heard It Through the Grapevine, should pull it up.
Yeah.
Just follow and ask for the notifications.
I'll
Yep.
I'll go ahead and put
Thank
this.
you. Mondays at 8:00 Eastern time.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
And
All right. I feel like okay, here we go. Like I say, what is going on? That's funny. That's not it. You happen to pick a
Facebook is
very
really fucked up for me now. Like on
well,
the computer, it
you
is.
you done broke it.
Maybe so. Maybe Zuck got tired of me talking shit.
I
I
mean,
don't know. I click on notifications. It takes me
shit
right to
talker you are.
It takes me right to my feed. Every time it doesn't take me to where the notifications are. I try to click on certain groups. Can't get in the group. It's ass. On the phone, it's fine.
Is this a rebellion against Team Son of Dead Man?
Could be. I mean,
But
I am the Empire.
all right, there you go.
There you
Ruth.
go.
That's
There you go, Ruth.
That's the link to
right
the
there.
channel.
Yep, absolutely. So go check that out. At your earliest convenience. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Appreciate
And all of
it.
that. Really appreciate all of
Run
you
that
guys'
up.
support. Run that up. And so for my man SPJ
You
and my sister Chrissy,
Hey.
I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.